Mariners pick up the big series win against the Giants yesterday. Look to keep the good vibes rolling tonight with the Cincinnati Reds in town. Game one of a three-game series tonight. George Kirby on the hill for your Seattle Mariners. You can catch it all right here starting at 5:30 with the pregame show. 6:40 first pitch, Seattle Sports on 710. Meanwhile, Seahawks news. Seahawks announced they have put safety Nick Emanwari, running back Kenny McIntosh, and cornerback Tyrone Broden on the PUP list to begin training camp. McIntosh and Broden were both hurt last year. Not clear what Emanwari is dealing with, according to ESPN's Brady Henderson. Said he took part in OTAs and minicamp, and as a reminder, he also said anyone placed on the PUP list can be activated and return to practice at any point during training camp. If they're still on the PUP list on the roster cutdown day, which is August 30th this year, they have to miss at least the first 4 regular season games.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Welcome, everybody. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com. Happy Monday to everybody out there. I hope everybody had a great weekend and ready for a fun week of hopefully some winning baseball with your Seattle Mariners, which we will talk about. Coming up at 3 o'clock, Ryan Rowland-Smith will join us for his regularly scheduled appearance with us each and every week at 3 p.m., so you've got that to look forward to. Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. Want to weigh in on the Mariners, Seahawks, whatever's on your mind. We're just we're going to be at this point next week. We'll be at training camp doing live broadcasts out there in the sweltering sun. So
it's going to be fantastic.
Look forward to that. Right. Fans will be out there brisking in the sun on the berm out there. It's going to be we'll see who's available, as we saw that news that Nick Emanwari is on the PUP list. No word as to what's going on with him. But as Brady Henderson reminded us, he can be activated, return to practice at any point. So
yeah, and I would think that would be pretty early on. We didn't really hear anything.
He took part in OTAs and minicamp, so yeah. I don't know what's going on there. So
and also he's a really fast healer.
That's right. That's right. We saw what he did at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll keep our fingers crossed on that. And then Kenny McIntosh. That's just a bummer. I don't know. Maybe it'll be a couple days. Maybe it'll be a week. I don't know, but. This is a guy who just can't get right.
Yeah, remember 23, we thought, oh, maybe Pete doesn't like him, or, you know, what's the deal with him? Get him the ball, and then, you know, he shows up injured, which he was injured last year, so that's a shame. And you hope he's not going to be one of those guys that is just an injury guy.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the Mariners, they play their first series coming out of the All-Star break. Got off to just an absolutely dreadful start on Friday. Kind of dreadful on Saturday until Cole Young came to the rescue. And then yesterday was more like it against a bad team. We talked about it prior to the series starting. This is a bad team. It gives me pause, Dave. These bad teams that they're supposed to beat seem to be a thorn in the side of this team. And Friday was so bad. I was there the whole game. I was going to go down in the clubhouse, and then after the game, I just sat up in the radio booth with Shannon and Ryan Rowland-Smith. I said, I'm not going down there. I'm not going. I refuse.
You know, I was surprised by that because I was like, oh, my God. I watched the game, and I'm like, 2 hits? That is the most frustrating thing. I mean, even like seeing Logan or somebody like that that's really good go out and get blown up, I'm like, okay, it happens. But 2 hits, how many times also have we had a game like that? I thought I was going to get like a whole bunch of texts from you about this team being dog vomit, or you call it something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just, those are the most frustrating things. And, you know, we sat there on Friday at the stadium talking about the game and how they should take care of it. So, but yeah, I mean, look, it finished fine. But I mean, you know, if that would have happened yesterday, we'd be in here pissed off and complaining.
Oh, it was arguably the worst game of the season.
It was so bad, I didn't even get a text from you.
You had 2. Well, I think I sent one to you in Lefko there, saying once again they're getting hammered by a bad team.
team.
But 2 hits, 2 errors, no runs. That was your production that day. And Miller gave you a chance to win.
He did.
I mean, he gave up 2 earned runs. It didn't quite get to 6, so he was the only one who didn't give you the quality start. It was 5 2/3, 7 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned. The center field gaff from who was it, Rayleigh, I think. 6 strikeouts, 1 walk. He pitched well. It wasn't his best game, but he certainly pitched well enough for you to win that game, right? and then the next game up until the 7th inning, they were just being locked down, and you're going, this is a disaster. This is a disaster. And then Cole Young to the rescue. Thank goodness for that guy. Yeah. Thank goodness. He's just I love that kid. Been talking about him all year, obviously, and man, what a great start to the second half. Back-to-back games with a home run. I mean, absolutely clutch in that one to tie the game with that 3-run home run. And Brian Wu, again, both I would say Wu and Gilbert were both good. They were good. They weren't their best version, but they both gave you quality starts. Wu, 6 innings, 3 runs, 2 of them earned, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks. And then Gilbert, 6 innings, 3 runs, 10 strikeouts, and a walk, 4 hits. So your pitching they showed up. Your pitching showed up. Your offense was MIA in the first game. They were not at the park. For much of the second game, they weren't there, and then they came through. And then yesterday, that felt more like, okay, that's what we should be seeing against this team.
Yeah, Cole Young, man. I mean, he has just been, and maybe that's what they're going to get. You know, they're a 50-50 ball club right now, and you know somebody like that is going to get hot and pick them up until you get Naylor going, more consistently, and Cal, of course, and Julio. He's obviously coming off the IL, but yeah, he is. Cole Young that was the guy I think that I had the biggest question marks about as to whether or not he would be our second baseman. And this is back in spring training where, you're looking at, okay, Donovan, you got JP, maybe he's the one hole, in the infield. But man, he's been fantastic defensively, and then just continues to come up with big hits. Yeah,
none bigger than what took place in Game 2 because I mean the vibe was bad. The vibe was really bad coming off of Friday. Then you go through most of that game Saturday, and I think they had 1 hit, which he had, by the way. I think he had the only hit going into the 7th inning. And then, somebody gets plunked, there's a walk, and then here comes Cole Young.
I mean, the plan was just stay through the middle of the field. Sinker, sweeper, changeup guy. So just trying to hit a line drive somewhere, not try to overswing. And it just helps me, stay on all the pitches. So, yeah.
So not trying to hit a home run. He just wanted to hit a line drive, and then the result is...
The pitch. Swung on, tagged, right field, it's hammered, it's back, it is gone! Cole Young, one big swing, he has tied it. The Mariners needed that, and Cole Young comes through big. It's 3-3.
I got to say, that's the most detail that we've heard from Cole Young in a long time.
Yeah.
I mean,
he was wordy there.
Yeah, he was. But I mean, I don't know. He's probably, just trying to, I'm a young guy. I'm going to keep it short. And now he's starting to kind of expand what's going on in his mind. And I loved hearing that clip because, I mean, it was, there was a fair amount of detail for him. Okay. But it was perfectly said. And he's just come through and he kind of has surprising power, really, for a guy that's not
a big dude.
Yeah,
not a big dude, but you throw that ball, especially that one, that was right in the loop zone, just squared it up, left the building, and it was huge. And you wonder if that's going to be a turning point. We're going to point back to that moment and say, remember how bad everybody felt coming off that Friday game and how poorly that game was going, and it's against this dreadful team in the Giants, and there was so much anger and frustration with this team, and then here comes Cole Young, and they tie the game, and then Julio comes up with the sac fly at the end to win it. You had a guy you expect to come through in Julio, a young guy who's been a revelation this year in Cole Young, Is that going to be something we point back to later in the season, hopefully in a good way, going, that was the turning point? That's where the ship was righted, so to speak.
Yeah. No, I think that could be it. And, you got the Cincinnati Reds coming in here. They're 45-53 as it stands right now. And, they need to have some momentum going into that series at Texas, which starts on Friday. But, Texas now leading them in the AL West. And I think you're right. I think that might be the one we might look back and go, hey, this propelled us. This gave us some momentum to finally, how about sweep a team that's under 500? That's not very good.
Yeah, well, hopefully they can do that. Hopefully they can do that against the Cincinnati Reds, who are in town. Again, game 1 of the 3-game series is tonight with George Kirby on the hill. But yesterday they got it done, and now they, again, started out poorly. Quickly, we're down 2-0 in the first inning. After the first inning, Logan gave up those 2 runs early, and then they were able to battle back and then start to pile on a bit. And again, thanks to Cole Young.
The pitch. Swung on, lasered, right field. Has he done it again? Yes, he has. Cole Young. 2-run home run. Homers on back-to-back days, and the Mariners lead by 3.
I love Gary. Gary's calls are fantastic. Love listening to him. But, yeah, I mean, that was he's just a very calm, steady character. I mean, that's the thing about him. Whenever he gets into kind of a slump, it seems like he's able to work his way out of it. And, yeah, he's just been so solid for such a young guy. It's very exciting to see that. But that's what you need right now when you have, Julio not playing, first of all. But then, you've got a guy like Cal who, is – kind of like they say he's their aircraft carrier, and he needs to get hot, he needs to get going, and wasn't good for him over this series. And Cole Young there to pick up the slack. Love it.
And by the way, the only player on this roster to play every single game so far. They played 100 games. They're 50-50. He's played 100 games. The next closest is Naylor at 93. So durable. He posts every day. Hopefully he can keep it going. I don't know about the wear and tear on his body. He's 22, so I guess it's not as bad as it would be for an older player. But, man, he's out there getting it done. And for him to get the second half started the way he did is huge. And they desperately needed it. This wasn't just, he's chipping in, everybody else is piling it up. No, you brought up Cal, and Julio was out. He's trying to find his timing coming back, waiting for Naylor to get going. You're looking for other people to step up, and he's doing it. And he's just absolutely clutch. And it's again, so much fun to watch that kid. And Dan Wilson talked about what he saw from Young, who was hitting in the 3 spot for the very first time.
Yeah. I think he continues to swing the bat well. I think, you put guys in different spots, as they're going, here and there. I thought Cole, clearly swung the bat well last night, and even though it was a lefty today with Ray, I thought, his approach has been good. I was happy to see the adjustment that he made. He got the sliders early in that first at bat, and then able to get a hanging slider there, his second or third time, and get that base hit to get sort of, get him back in there, and then, able to get the right-hander and get the homer later. But, good adjustments by him, and we've seen that from him, but he keeps doing it, and defensively at second, he continues to play well also.
Yeah, just big weekend for him. And let's give Colt Emerson a little nod. He had a huge defensive play in that extra inning game that kept them in it. I mean, he doesn't make that play. The runner advances to third. They're ultimately going to score a run in extra innings, but he makes a diving play in the hole at short, pops up, throws a strike to Naylor. And the second it hit Naylor's glove, you see Naylor just pumping his fist like, yes. I mean, It was a brilliant play. So kudos to him. And by the way, it's his birthday today.
Oh, really?
He is now able to go out and buy himself a drink. He's 21 years old today. Colt Emerson.
It's all going to go downhill from here.
You think he's just going to show up just pickled tonight?
Just hammered.
Yeah. Come staggering into the clubhouse.
I think he is going to be a guy that's going to get carded. Probably for another 5 years.
At least. Yeah. He does not look 21. But, so if you're out at the game, Shout a happy birthday to Colt Emerson, who turns 21 years old today. Unbelievable.
That is so phenomenal. And just looking, I mean, and look, he's had a little bit, some ups and downs, but I mean, just some of the instinctive plays that he makes, and having those two guys on the inside. Also, the fact that the Mariners do a great job with pitchers, man. They bring them in, develop them, and it's not just the pitchers. You got a couple of middle infielders and those two guys that are just awesome. So awesome to watch. And, Cole Young's only 22. So, yeah, I mean, it's really exciting for the future. That's the one thing I think it's kind of been sort of the bright spot this year. I mean, obviously the pitching, but that's been sort of surrounded by not controversy, but some uncertainty. Basically, about what are you going to do with your pitchers? How are we're going to piggyback? We're going to go 6-man rotation. But those two guys have, and both of them had ups and downs, but for the most part, they both have been just very exciting. And I'm just thinking about the prospect of those two guys being together at second and short for maybe the next 10 years.
Yeah, you hope so. I mean, it's certainly trending that way, and Cole's having a tremendous season. Colt, look, for a kid if we're being honest, he is really, really scuffling at the plate this month. He's hitting a $114 in the month of July with a 158 on base. It's not good. Okay, he had a hit yesterday, which is good, and maybe that'll get him rolling. But yeah, it's been a brutal month at the plate. But for him to keep his head in the game, as a young guy who's trying to prove himself, sign that big deal, so there's expectation, there's pressure, and he's not coming through at the plate right now. It is really, really a slog for him to not take it into the field with him as a young kid like that. That's impressive to me, because you often will see guys who are older, more experienced, who are really struggling at the plate, and then they're booting balls. And I'm not saying, look, he's made errors, and he made one over the weekend, so did Cole. That he's not perfect, but that was a game-saving, potentially, play at short. Laid down a great bunt to move the runner along. So he's chipping in where he can, right? And hopefully the bat gets going. But, it seems like the league may have, seen enough of him to kind of figure him out when you look at his totals from each month. I mean, his first month in May, he was hitting 244 with a 340 on base. Then it goes down in June, 205, 271 on base. And then July, right now, he's 114 with a 158 on base. So the league might be catching up to him. It's up to him now to make the adjustments. So it's, he's having that rookie moment on offense, if you will. But seeing what he's done in the field in moments like that and not taking it out into the field with him is a big deal.
Yeah, and the thing is, you see veterans that have been in the league for years and years that do that. That they're scuffling in one area, and then all of a sudden it takes, like you said, onto the field. And yeah, he's been able to still make big plays and be a major contributor defensively. So yeah, I love seeing that. Both of those guys are just mature beyond their age there. And like I said, the clip from Cole Young, he's starting to kind of, I just think he's done it perfectly. We kind of we're not making fun of him, but it's kind of funny to listen to some of the very vague answers that he gives.
Yeah.
But now he's starting to kind of figure out and how to talk about the game, give you a little more insight into what he's thinking. And I love that. Just part of the maturing process. So yeah, it's been cool watching both of those guys. But you're right, Colt has not taken it back on the field as far as defensively, because 114 right now in this month.
Yeah, not good. But as far as it pertains to Cole Young, he just comes up clutch. He's had some, for a young guy in his first full season, he's had some big moments already. And you still got 62 games to go. 62 regular season games to go. So we'll see what happens in those games. But through 100 games, he's been clutch. He's come up with a number of big moments in really crucial times. And you guys can weigh in on this on the text line. Game's on the line. You got say you're tied. You got the winning run at third base, 2 outs. Who do you want up at the plate right now? Who do you, at this very moment after 100 games, who do you trust the most up there to put that ball in play, to get that ball out of the infield, just to come up with a base hit?
I'm going to go with Cal.
You're out of your mind. You are sincerely insane.
No, it'd be cool.
I mean, honestly, at this moment, not saying just throughout the history, you know, everybody else has got obviously a much bigger resume for the most part, but just who do you have the most confidence in, just the way they're playing, the way they're seeing the ball at the plate right now? Who would that be?
360 right away. Randy.
That's
253. Julio. Pete and Bellingham. Edgar. No, but yeah, Cole Young, definitely, no question. Right now,
when he steps up there, I just feel like he's going to do something. He's gonna put the ball in play. Is just the feeling I get when he's up there. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, but I don't know. You just have a different level of confidence. There are certain players that step up there, and you're going, okay, well, this is probably an out. And other players are going, all right, let's go. He's going to do something. He's that guy right now for me. So much confidence when he steps into the box. All right, let's take two.
Well, big stretch for a prospect promotion. So a couple weeks ago, we saw Laz Montez and Michael Arroyo get bumped up to AAA. Now over the weekend, last night, Felton Celestin was promoted, and Johnny Farmello has followed him. Both are now at AA Arkansas. Currently the 5th and 6th rated prospects in the Mariners system.
Yeah, moving up through the organization. They've Celestin has had a tremendous year, had an extremely long hit streak going there. I think it was in the 20s, if I remember correctly. But he's, you know, watching these guys dominate at the levels that they're at. We've talked about it with Kate Anderson, certainly just gives you a lot of hope for the future. There's a huge jump, as we all know, from the minor leagues to the majors. The AAA to the big leagues is massive, so we'll see how that translates. But really good to see the guys that everybody has become familiar with, hearing their names, making their way through the system.
Yeah, you know who I think about when I see guys like that, you know, do a great job and end up, you know, succeeding in the minor leagues? I think about Jerry DiPoto. I mean, he takes a lot of fire every once in a while, and also Justin. But, you know, just being able to find guys and develop them in a fairly quickly manner, it's pretty cool. I feel really good about the farm system, and I know that the big complaint was always, you know, about free agency and, you know, getting the right players, and he's taken big swings in that regard. But, you know, he just continues to pick good players and develop them, and I can't wait to see these two guys when they finally get promoted.
All right, I was waiting for this, kept refreshing. Lineup literally just came out for the Mariners. You have some guys that are off because it's a lefty, Andrew Abbott. So Colt Emerson gets the day off. J.P. Crawford's at shortstop. He's leading off. Victor Robles is starting in right field, so no Raley. And Canzone is the DH today. He's batting third. And then Buddy Kennedy gets the start at third. He's batting ninth.
All right. Well, see how that goes. We've talked about the automatic moves that are made when there's a lefty on the hill, which at times makes sense and at times, quite frankly, don't make sense to me, especially when you've got a lineup that is not hot. It's not like you've got guys that are ripping the ball left and right, and you're choosing to sit certain bats that are hotter than others. So we'll see how that plays out and how quickly, you know, do you make a change if things aren't going the right way offensively?
Well, we've kind of said this all year, and I know a lot of people, this is their sentiment. Anytime you see Robles in the lineup, you love seeing it. I like him in right field. I don't think he's a better center fielder than Julio. And he just seems to always make plays out there. So excited to watch him play. Don't know a whole bunch about Buddy Kennedy, but yeah, Robles has, you know, it seems like since we've started complaining, I know they're not listening to us, but we're seeing more and more of Robles.
Take Two is brought to you by Swedish Cyberknife. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife. Swedish.org/cyberknife prostate. Mariners' record perfectly indicates what kind of team they've been so far, but what kind of team are they going to be the rest of the way? Talk about that coming up next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Seattle Sports, home of Brock and Salk, morning 6 to 10.
What are the priorities in the second half? Number one for me, you got to clean it up. Start playing cleaner baseball.
Include Naylor in that. I'm going to have a lot more emphasis on him because he was a major straw that stirred the drink in their run in August and September last year.
That's fine. You can focus on Naylor all you want. I'll still be focused on, you know, Cal, the guy who hit 60 home runs and had the greatest season ever for a catcher last year.
Watch live or later on the Seattle Sports YouTube channel.
Fast Water Heater has spent the last 40 years becoming Seattle's go-to at one position, hot water. It's Dave Wyman here, and I always talk about how important depth at every position can be. At Fast Home Services, they've gone out and built depth at every other spot in your home's lineup, adding HVAC, plumbing, and electrical. That's Fast Home Services, now applying that same level of care to your entire home. Call 1-800-THINK-FAST to book your free in-home estimate or visit fasthomeservices.com for a virtual quote in seconds. Water heaters, plumbing, HVAC, and electrical services.
This is Rick Jones of Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men. Child custody is the most emotional issue our clients face. And if you're a divorcing father, the relationship with your children is about to change. But that change doesn't have to be for the worse. Kids already feel the stress of parents who don't get along, but they can thrive after a divorce. Kids trust their dads. Their dads trust Goldberg Jones. Go to goldbergjones.com to get your questions answered at no charge. goldbergjones.com.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
When you buy a new vehicle from Lee Johnson, you'll get a lifetime powertrain warranty included.
The biggest scuba sale in America starts Thursday at Underwater Sports in North Seattle. Incredible savings for 3 days only. Divers Fair only happens once each year at Underwater Sports, 107th and Aurora Avenue North.
Summer is the time to feel and look your best, but I'm not talking about your abs or tan. Guys, I'm talking about your hair. Restore that bald spot, reverse your receding hairline, or add volume to thinning during Advanced Hair's once yearly summer savings event. Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment begins to regrow your very own hair the very next day, and they guarantee your new hair will grow. They are the team that addressed my hair loss, and I recommend them to everyone. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar. Advanced Hair's summer sales event is on for a limited time. So get the details and schedule your free consultation today. 425-449-8185. One-day treatment, life-changing results. With Advanced Hair, your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Check out the incredible before and afters and make the call now while their summer savings event is still on. That's 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Most of us are one good deal away from finally replacing that worn-out rug, fixing up the backyard, or getting the bedroom we actually want. Good news, that deal's almost here. Wayfair's Black Friday and July sale. Get up to 80% off area rugs and up to 60% off outdoor and bedroom furniture. Shop Wayfair's huge selection of styles and find the piece to fit your style, budget, and space. Plus, free shipping. Black Friday in July ends July 27th. Shop today at wayfair.com.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Mariners and Reds tonight at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40, 5:30 pregame. Get every pitch of every game for free on the Seattle Sports app.
Thinking about a new roof or exterior upgrade, but worried about the cost? This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. We've created our summertime savings event to make it simple and affordable. Save up to $3,000 off your exterior project or get 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest up to 24 months. And every qualifying GAF roof is backed by our lifetime Golden Pledge warranty. One call gets you started. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today. Held to a higher standard since 1968.
Les Schwab Tires has always believed that taking care of people is the right thing to do. Today, that means more than trusted service. It means delivering real value, too. That's why we're lowering prices on hundreds of tires without changing the service and expertise you've always counted on. Consumer Reports named Les Schwab the best tire retailer for 2026. We'll keep working every day to earn your trust. See leschwab.com for details.
Back to school starts now.
Get long-lasting battery life on the Dell XPS laptop powered by Series 3 Intel Core so you can work from anywhere. Now starting at $699 with exclusive student pricing starting at $599. Complete your setup with savings on select monitors and must-have electronics and accessories. Limited time deals and free shipping on PCs and more await you at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like head administrator for a state-of-the-art surgical center.
What can I do for you, Doc? We need to talk about the lights. Ah, the mood lighting, relaxing, right? Much better than those old hospital vibes. A hospital's supposed to have hospital vibes. You seem tense. Let's dim the lights a bit.
This is the time for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. A lot of people weighing in on that question, who you trust the most at this point of the season with the game on the line. Not saying you think they're the best player on the team or they're going to be the Hall of Famer. Just with the game on the line, you need somebody to drive in that runner from third with two outs. Got to come up with a base hit, winning runs on third. Who do you trust the most right now in this Mariners lineup? A lot of people saying JP, and I think to some they would kind of wrinkle their nose. That's not a bad answer at all. JP, as I've said repeatedly, almost always gives you a good plate appearance. He's almost always going to see 5-6 pitches. I mean, I don't know where he ranks in pitches seen per at bat, his average, but he's got to be up there, man. It is a rare occasion for him to go down on 3 pitches and strike out or swing at the first pitch. Yeah, it's going to happen here and there, but I don't think JP is a bad answer.
Yeah.
He's going to typically make that pitcher work. He's going to see, at worst, I'd feel like he's going to walk. Mm-hmm. And the guy coming up behind him is going to do something maybe. But, yeah, that's not a bad answer. A lot of people saying Randy, a lot of people saying Cole Young right now. So you guys want to weigh in on that? Who you trust the most right now as it sits right now? The game is on the line. You need somebody to get that ball out of the infield and bring in that runner from third. Who's going to get it done? Text that in to 866-979-3776.
Yeah, J.P. Crawford, I remember Dan talking, I'm trying to remember who the player was he was talking about at the time, but he was saying his superpower is that he shows up and is the same guy every day. And that's J.P. And, yeah, and more, the more you talk to the players, you realize, I mean, his name comes up a lot. I know that when they have the meetings at the mound that they, a lot of players say, and coaches too, say that JP has the best things to say. And yeah, I mean, and that's what, we were talking about leaders, guys stepping up, who needs to be the guy to step up and say, hey guys, we need to get this together. But it's so hard to do when you're not performing. You're not out there and you don't have the numbers. But I think JP kind of has a free pass there, that because of the person that he is and the teammate that he is, and and he's come up with some big key hits. So yeah, I like that answer.
Yeah, it's definitely, I don't disagree with it at all. A lot of people saying Randy, a lot saying Cole. The ones we're not getting are Cal, Julio, Naylor, some of the guys you truly count on. That, and I don't blame them because none of those guys would be my answer right now.
Yeah.
Those, I would not feel nearly as comfortable with any of those three up at the plate as I would with Randy, with Cole, with JP. I'd take any of those three above Cal, Julio, and Naylor right now.
Yeah. No, and it is so weird to see that Randy's he's a good player, no question, but like to see, the stats that he leads the team in, everything, significant.
Yeah.
Other than, home runs, which is, that's Dom. But yeah,
I think Rayleigh's tied with him now.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That pinch hit home run in the 6th yesterday.
He's a monster.
Huge.
He's a monster when he gets hold of one.
That was clutch.
Yeah.
Coming off the bench as a pinch hitter and giving him the lead with that home run was huge.
I don't know how you do that, man. I mean, and a lot of, we talked to Nelson Cruz, and, he liked playing out in the field, and then, but to sit the entire night and all of a sudden go in and come up with a big hit. It's just so impressive.
Yeah, I mean, you could sit there. They got the cage underneath there, and those guys are back there taking cuts, certainly, but you're not looking at a live pitcher. You're not out there in the stadium with the fans and the pressure of the moment on you. You're down there taking cuts and doing that's why they're the pros. They're the best of the best out there. But this team is now sitting there with a 50-50 record, which I think is pretty apropos considering what we've seen this year. That's average.
Yeah.
They've played like an average team. They've had moments where they've been brilliant. They've got elements of the team that are certainly better than average, but there's a lot that's below average as well. So, and just by way of comparison, after 100 games last year, they were 53-47.
Right.
So they were 3 games better last year. You're a half game behind the Rangers, who lost yesterday, which is big because you've got that series coming up after this Red series. You got 3 with Cincinnati, and then you've got 4 with the Rangers on the road. So hopefully the Mariners can win this series against the Reds, make some hay. We'll see what the Rangers do in the meantime, but you want to gain as much ground as you can before you get there to Texas. And I still believe, despite what we saw, what we've seen with this team, I mean, Friday for me was a low point. It was just absolute dreck. I still feel like they're the best team in this division. I feel like they are a better team than the Rangers. They are a better team than the Astros. And maybe it's not saying much, but that's the division you're playing in. And I think that when it's all said and done, that they should be sitting atop this division.
Yeah.
For the second year in a row.
Yeah, I mean, I still think this car wants to go faster. It just does, and it's not going to, I don't think, until Cal and you get Josh Naylor sort of leveling out. Same thing with Julio, but I have to read this one because it is pretty funny. 360 said, "Who do you have most confidence in?" He said, "The opposing pitcher."
Yeah, that's probably more often than not the correct answer. Oh, yeah. That's
all right. Little comic relief there.
That's solid work. That's solid work. 604 British Columbia says Cole Young. Yes. Mitch Garver. No. All right. I think we knew that. We knew he wasn't going to be in that clutch area. But, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, when this team finally gets healthy. And I don't want to put everything on the arrival of Brendan Donovan. Yeah, he can certainly help turn things around with this lineup. But that's not a fair expectation for a guy who's barely played in 100 games and has been dealing with an injury that's obviously much more serious than any of us anticipated. So the idea he's going to come in as the White Knight and he's going to be wearing the cape and I'm here to save the day, that's not realistic.
Yeah, I would say maybe a couple 3 series,
couple 3.
That would probably be it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
he's missed 75 games.
He played in 25 games, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so I don't expect that from him, and
he was great in those 25 though.
Yeah, he was.
He was hitting 274, had a 386 on base, 3 home runs.
Mm-hmm.
So liked what we saw. There's reason to be optimistic and excited about his return, but the idea that he's going to come in and just completely change the fortunes of this lineup, not a realistic expectation, in my opinion. I'll be happy to be wrong about that one. More than happy if he came in and just was tearing the cover off the ball. But even absent him, this to me is still a better team than the Rangers and the Astros, who, by the way, are the only 2 contenders amongst the group, besides the Mariners. The A's have just gone in an absolute tailspin, and the Angels have been there for the majority of the season. So this is a 3-team race as it sits right now. And of those 3, I know it's, drinking the Kool-Aid, whatever. This is the better of the 3 teams. They just are.
Yeah, they are. And absolutely. But, that also means everybody has to somewhat play up to the back of their card. But
they're not so good that they've got slack. They've got no slack.
No, there's no slack. You can't make mistakes. You can't make errors on the base paths or any on defense. But, I'm just looking at the run differential in the AL West, and, the Mariners are plus 13, which isn't blowing your skirt up, right? But you look at the Rangers are minus 31. The Astros are minus 53. I mean, I just think, especially the Astros, I think they're going to fall off.
I hope so. That'll be fun to watch.
You'd like that? I didn't.
Yeah.
You have something against?
I'd
the Astros?
take great delight in their downfall. Yes, I would. The Mariners' 50 season celebration weekend begins August 7th, and we want to send you and a friend to be part of that celebration. It's going to be a great weekend. You're going to get a chance to watch batting practice before the gates open, then stick around for the game and the Alumni Home Run Derby. Watch Rowland-Smith show off that power. To enter, all you need to do is open the Seattle Sports app. If you don't have the app, just text the word app, APP, to 866-979-3776. We'll send you a link to download it. It's completely free. You can enter daily to increase your chances to win. Contest runs through Monday, July 27th. Meanwhile, one issue is carried over for the Mariners after the All-Star break. We'll get into some of the ways to fix that. Coming up next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Jeff Passan every Tuesday morning at 8:30 with Brock and Salk.
Brought to you by your Western Washington Toyota dealers.
What can be the elixir to begin the second half for Cal Raleigh?
Just getting back to the basics. In his case, let's get the ball and play a little bit more. And a lot of this is swinging at pitches that he shouldn't be swinging at. Cal Raleigh will fix himself. I absolutely, firmly believe that.
Get more on the Seattle Sports YouTube page and the Seattle Sports app.
It's that time of year. The weather is beautiful outside. It's time to get on the motorcycle. Rode it into work today. I ride it just about every single day I can when it's above 60 and not raining. And it's good for me to know that if things go the wrong way for me on the road, I've got somebody that's got my back, that's got experience. That's Law Tigers. For 25 years, Law Tigers has helped thousands of riders out there with only one mission. That's to serve the motorcycle community, because with Law Tigers, you never ride alone. And when the unexpected happens, you need more than a lawyer. You need somebody who understands the ride, and that's why riders have trusted Law Tigers, because it's not just what they do, it's who they are. They've been doing this 25 years, and they are still riding strong with you. They're going to help you get your bike and your gear repaired or replaced, because they know how much those things mean to you. So should you find yourself in an accident, do yourself a favor. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS or visit lawtigers.com. The Law Tigers, Washington's motorcycle lawyers, Cook Law Office, PLLC, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
Summer is here, and it's time to break through your weight loss frustrations. Hey, it's Dr. Coogan with Eastside Weight Loss, and we have a proven system that can help you lose 20 to 30 pounds or more in just 8 weeks. Whether you need a nutrition plan to complement your GLP injections, or you're like many of our clients who don't want to worry about ongoing monthly costs, giving yourself shots, or uncomfortable side effects. Either way, our program provides the support, accountability, and structured nutrition plan so you can achieve your results for the long term. Schedule your free phone consult at eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Look, this plan does work. It's Mike Salk here, and I used Eastside Weight Loss Clinic to lose 35 pounds. Just recently, I heard about one of our listeners who lost 40 pounds. How about that? The plan will teach you lifelong habits to continue eating the food you love while losing weight.
We've helped over 4,000 people lose 20 to 30 pounds or more in just 8 weeks. Come to our clinic in Kirkland or do the program remotely from anywhere you live. Schedule your free phone consultation online at eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Summer's finally here, and we're kicking it off with a whole lot of free. Free brake pads with Duralast rotors. Free oil filter with 5 quarts of oil. Free Armor All wipes with Armor All glass cleaner, and more. More free, so you can have more summer. Celebrate free at AutoZone. Now through July 27th. Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
When you see this in your kitchen,
The stainless steel fridge is covered in fingerprints.
you hear this.
Leslie, people are going to think you were raised in a barn or by wolves, or raised in a barn by wolves.
Fortunately, Wyman Stainless Steel 3-in-1 cleans, shines, and protects to give you the best shine. A spray and a wipe will have your fridge shining like a mirror.
Wow, my fridge looks brand new. Your fridge looks amazing, Leslie. Sorry, I was being a little dramatic earlier.
Your kitchen says a lot about you. Let it brag with Wyman.
Dave Wyman here, brand new member of Harborstone Credit Union, and I got my PNW cashback checking account for free. No fees or minimums, and when I make everyday purchases with my Harborstone PNW cashback debit card, I earn up to $30 each month. Gas, groceries, coffee, travel, lunch, all categories count toward your cash back. Open your free account online like I did. Go to harborstone.com/cash or visit one of their 29 branches across the Northwest.
Insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
The countdown is on.
Just 5 days
Until Seahawks training camp on the home of the Super Bowl champion Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Summer is the time to feel and look your best, but I'm not talking about your abs or tan. Guys, I'm talking about your hair. Restore that bald spot, reverse your receding hairline, or add volume to thinning during Advanced Hair's once yearly summer savings event. Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment begins to regrow your very own hair the very next day, and they guarantee your new hair will grow. They are the team that addressed my hair loss, and I recommend them to everyone. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar. Advanced Hair's summer sales event is on for a limited time. So get the details and schedule your free consultation today. 425-449-8185. One-day treatment, life-changing results. With Advanced Hair, your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Check out the incredible before and afters and make the call now while their summer savings event is still on. That's 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Your neighbors at 3 Tree Roofing love telling you no. No high-pressure sales pitches. No Band-Aid fixes that will fail come wintertime. No outrageous pricing from some corporate-owned roofing company with headquarters thousands of miles from here. 3 Tree Roofing is local, family-owned, and their team will build you a worry-free plan for your roof replacement, completely free. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free estimate and call today to say yes to an additional $500 discount. That's 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
The biggest scuba sale in America starts Thursday at Underwater Sports in North Seattle. Clearance prices on masks, regulators, computers, fins, tanks, BCs, free photo and video seminars, free fitting, and incredible savings on a custom-fit dry suit. Big savings on advanced scuba classes. Underwater Sports' 50th Annual Divers Fair starts this Thursday at the North Seattle Underwater Sports Store, 107th and Aurora Avenue North. Don't miss the biggest scuba sale in America.
from the Quantum Fiber Studio. You're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Coming up at 3 o'clock, Ryan Rowland-Smith joins us for his weekly conversation, so stay tuned for that coming your way. Text line, as always, is there for you at 866-979-3776. Want to talk about the Mariners, who you trust the most at the plate with the game on the line right now in this lineup after 100 games. You can weigh in on that. Talk some Seahawks as well, coming up with Brady Henderson in the 4 o'clock hour. Meanwhile, we were talking about the Mariners, and I've said, you know, agree or disagree, I think they're the best team in this division. Again, it's not setting the bar real high because it's a bad division. But of the three that are in contention, and I'm eliminating the A's and the Angels, they're, to me, better than the Rangers. They're better than the Astros. Now, we'll see. This is going to be a great test coming up with this series against the Rangers, and could look really poor going the other way of me saying they're better than the Rangers and they don't win that series or at least split it, 4-game series, then yeah, we'll be having a different conversation. But looking at this offense, I mean, look, like years past, especially during Scott Service years, the pitching carried this team. He had 2 90-win seasons with a dreadful offense. He just didn't have the weapons that they have now.
That was the fun differential.
That's exactly right, yeah.
Because he didn't know how to explain it.
Yeah, it was just dominant pitching, man. Just dominant pitching, and that's what they have again. Maybe not quite to that extent, but you know, it's been saving their bacon, to say the least, because this is this offense has scored the 3rd fewest runs in all of Major League Baseball. There are only 2 teams that have scored fewer runs than the Seattle Mariners. One of them is the Blue Jays, who are in last place now. It's a team that was in the World Series, team that beat you to go to the World Series. They're in last place. They've scored 397 runs. The Guardians, who are not in last place yet, so they're, I'm guessing, having similar conversations maybe in Cleveland. They're in 2nd place in the Central. They're a game behind the White Sox. They've put up 392 runs, which is not great. The Mariners, for their part, 402. So those are the 3 lowest scoring teams in terms of just total runs produced in all of baseball, and they're all in the American League.
And that's why the AL is Yeah, I mean, most teams are right at about 500. Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous I mean, you can easily point to exactly where it is, which is funny. We were talking about the trade deadline of, okay, we're going to maybe go get some bullpen help, whatever. They need a bat. I mean, I was looking at the four categories, average on-base percentage, slug, and OPS. We rank 28th on average. 28th. I mean, we're 30th in average, 29th in slug, and it averages out those four categories. Reminder, there's 30 teams in Major League Baseball. It's awful. Mm-hmm. It's absolutely awful. So, yeah, that's something that needs to turn around, obviously. The thing is, though, I mean, I don't know who you go get just because everybody is so sort of bunched up in the AL. And but when you look at pitching or relief pitching or whatever, I mean, that's not even a question. I mean, it's a bat, it's offense, it's ridiculous. But I still feel like they have the guys there if they will just like we've been talking about, play up to their potential. Just have not done that. But it's just appalling to me, the rankings as far as their offense.
Yeah, it's been dreadful. And here they are a half game out of first place, which tells you that it's not going to take much. Now, that's assuming pitching remains as good as it's been, as solid as it's been. They could have some hiccups along the way. We'll see what happens after the trade deadline if they go to a 5-man, whatever. But putting that aside for now, you've had a dreadful offense, and you're sitting here at 500, which isn't great. You expected more. You were 3 games better at this point last year. You expected to be better than that. But you're at just a half game out of first place, which tells you if guys just start playing a little better offensively, it's going to separate you from the rest of the pack. And if they add somebody, great. But to me, it's, if you want to go glass half full, all it's going to take is just for Cal to be reasonably good. Just reasonably good. He's not anywhere near the guy last year for whatever the reason. Injury, confidence, WBC, throw out whatever excuse you want. We'll talk more about Cal coming up. But if he just becomes a reasonable threat in that lineup, and the same for Naylor, and the same for Julio, you're not asking them to have their career years. Just be a reasonable threat in that lineup. How different does this offense look? I mean, you've been this bad, yet you're a half game out of first place, despite everything, despite these guys producing, in some cases next to nothing, and you've got 2 young guys. You got a rookie who's hitting a $114 in the month of July, who's not giving you much. He's giving you some great defense, as we talked about, and this is not to pick on Colt Emerson because he's just turned 21 today. I don't place that expectation on him that I do Cal and Julio and Naylor. But the fact that they've struggled and they rank as low as they do in all of these categories, yet here they are, just tells you, man, it's not going to take much. It really is not to get this team just to separate from the rest of the pack. And Dan Wilson, after the game yesterday, just talked about the importance of the offense, being able to score runs in a variety of ways.
Forgot to mention Cole there too, but adding on runs late, was big. But you're right. I think, 3 runs were scored on the homers and 3 runs were scored sort of, traditionally. And, that's a solid offense. That's a balanced offense. And, you need all those runs. And, particularly late in the game there, giving yourselves a cushion and allowing your bullpen to attack like they did is huge. But, again, it just comes down to having good at-bats, comes down to getting a good pitch to hit. And that's what our guys did today. They got good pitches to hit, and they put a good swing on it.
Yeah, they've got to, you can't rely. The home runs are great. And you love seeing it, and they're huge, obviously. It's bailed them out in this series. But you got to be able to manufacture runs. You got to be able to string hits together. You got to be able to steal bases and move runners along and just the basics of baseball, which they just have not been very adept at doing.
Yeah. Yeah, I was kind of complaining. We were talking about slug and how it just hasn't been the case, especially for Julio, because I think his on-base percentage was .325, and his slug was .327. I think this was a few games ago. But, man, you look at Cal right now. He's got a .264 on base and a .267 slug. So, I mean, there's just so much room for repair. And I'm not sitting here ripping Cal or anything, but there's so much upside there that it has to turn around.
Yeah.
Just has to.
Yeah, and one other positive note, absent the offense, just moving that aside, how about Munoz? 2 games in a row where he looked every bit the star closer that you've been aching to see. He looked fantastic. So that was good to see. Just one more positive to throw in there, because even though they won the series, it still feels a little like I didn't come out of it feeling super confident. Yeah, you won the series, but it took some dramatics to get it done. All right, so good stuff there. Meanwhile, we're going to talk more about this and get some expert opinion from Ryan Rowland-Smith as to how he'd fix some of the issues with the offense and things like that. He's going to join us next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Seattle Sports, home of Brock and Salk, morning 6 to 10.
What are the priorities in the second half? Number one for me, you got to clean it up. Start playing cleaner baseball.
Include Naylor in that. I'm going to have a lot more emphasis on him because he was a major straw that stirred the drink in their run in August and September last year.
That's fine. You can focus on Naylor all you want. I'll still be focused on, Cal, the guy who hit 60 home runs and had the greatest season ever for a catcher last year.
Watch live or later on the Seattle Sports YouTube channel.
How would you like to invest in the Seattle real estate market, one of the hottest and most stable regions in the country, and achieve a great rate of return on your investment without the effort of sourcing a deal, the expense and time of building permits, or all the hassles that come with being a landlord? Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with 0 investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Invest in the stability and ease of Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund. Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Do you have a special occasion or milestone to commemorate? Come discover Klein Jewelers in charming downtown Edmonds. As a locally owned family jeweler, we combine an impressively large selection with a warm personal service only a hometown jeweler can provide. Whether you're searching for the perfect engagement ring or a beautiful piece of diamond or gemstone jewelry, you'll find plenty to love and no pressure along the way. From life's biggest milestones to those just because moments. Klein Jewelers by the Fountain in downtown Edmonds. Your jeweler for life.
Emerald Queen Casino Event Center presents the main event, powered by WFC, Saturday night, August 8th. A night of professional boxing, where champions are made and every punch counts. Contenders from the region go toe-to-toe, ready to prove they belong at the top. Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. Don't miss Fight Night, August 8th at Emerald Queen Casino. Always entertaining. 21 and older, need gambling help? Call 800-547-6133 or visit emeraldqueen.com.
There couldn't be a better time to save money, and one of the easiest ways to save?
Take the First Mark Challenge.
Molly and I took the First Mark Insurance Challenge, and we saved thousands of dollars the first year with First Mark, and we've been saving ever since.
Same for Mike and I. Here's how First Mark Insurance works for you, not the insurance companies.
They compare rates and coverage from dozens of the top-rated carriers. Then they go to work to find the right coverage at the lowest possible price for your family.
And when you need them, you'll talk to a real person who knows you and who's there to help. That's the kind of world-class service that has kept us with First Mark year after year.
Seriously, wouldn't you like to know if you could be paying less? Take the First Mark Challenge today. It costs you nothing. There's no obligation, and you'll find out just how much money you could be saving every single month.
You could be the next First Mark Challenge victory. They've had over 11,000 of them.
Don't give your insurance company a free raise before you renew. Let First Mark review. Go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
What are you waiting for? Your savings could start tomorrow.
Firstmarkinsurance.com.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Hey, Albert, can you help us plan and budget for a bathroom renovation?
I certainly can. Let me review your finances.
Who are you talking to?
Albert, my AI financial assistant that I can access right in the app. It automates all things finance, moves money, pays bills, creates personalized alerts, finds savings, and so much more.
Your bathroom renovation financial plan is ready. I found cash you can put aside, and to cover the rest, Albert can get you up to $10,000 fast.
Can you find contractors nearby within our budget?
Here's a list of contractors. Would you like help requesting a $10,000 loan for your bathroom renovation?
Yes! Download the Albert app and use promo code MULTIPLY to access Genius. Plus, get up to $10,000 for whatever you need. Just download the Albert app right now and use promo code MULTIPLY to get up to $10,000. That's promo code MULTIPLY.
Well, it's official. My friends have all switched to Pure Talk because I told them they could save a bunch of money on a super reliable high-speed network with unlimited data. And because they're my friends, they trust me. As for the rest of you, well, Pure Talk understands that even though you might like me, you're not just going to take my word for it, nor should you. For that reason, and for a very limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited plan that normally sells for $65 a month. Think of it like a test drive, a super simple way to save $150 while you kick the tires on Pure Talk's blazing fast network, and a fine way to see for yourself why I switched from big wireless, along with a few 100,000 of my closest friends. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and be connected to Pure Talk's friendly U.S. customer service team. Again, dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners take the series from the Giants. They look to do the same with the visiting Cincinnati Reds. Gino Suarez making his return back to Seattle as well. Game 1 coming your way tonight. George Kirby on the hill for the Mariners. He faces off against Andrew Abbott. You can catch it all starting at 5:30 with the pregame show. 6:40 first pitch right here, Seattle Sports on 710. Meanwhile, the Seahawks have announced they put safety Nick Emanwari, running back Kenny McIntosh, and cornerback Tyrone Broden on the PUP list to begin training camp. The reminder, according to Brady Henderson, who will be with us in the 4 o'clock hour, anybody placed on the PUP list can be activated and returned to practice at any point during camp.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour of Wyman and Bob is brought to you by K2 Vision RLE.
I actually talked about it on You Betcha on the podcast.
He is an unrivaled source of baseball knowledge.
Anyway, what were we talking about?
A guy who always had your back.
Pants back on, try and make the uniform look sweet in a split second. Come out, and I'm trying to open the door. I'm like, what the? And I said, listen, buddy, put your babysitting shoes on because Dad's going out for Father's Day. You got to watch Top Gun. Yeah, how's the bracket looking? You guys don't listen when I speak. Talking to a brick wall right now.
Ryan Rowland-Smith, every week with Wyman and Bob.
That's the open right there.
He's here, everybody, with us each and every week. Our weekly conversation with Ryan Rowland-Smith is presented by Mazda of Everett. Good to see you, Ryan. How are you, man?
Doing okay. How you guys doing?
Doing better than I left you on Friday night, as you and I were both walking to the elevator after the game, after the fireworks show, and it was just, that was kind of the tone of the conversation. It was just... that was a dreadful night. That was just a maybe the low point of the season as far as performance. 2 hits, 2 errors, no runs against the Giants. And they turn around and win the series, but it feels a little odd. It doesn't feel great because they went into the 7th looking much the same way in Saturday's game. They get the heroics from Cole Young. They get the win. But bottom line, they get the win. They win the series. But how do you feel about it now that it's wrapped up?
Yeah, well, first of all, look, they won the series, but you're right. You get done with Sunday, it's like, obviously, hey, you took 2 or 3, but you feel like there's just so much room there to get on some kind of good rhythm. The whole thing with this team, and even going back to the road trip, last time I spoke to you guys, and obviously you and I were talking about this on Friday night a little bit, but just trying to have some kind of rhythm or feel to this team or understanding this is who we are. It's like, man, and I get the expectations are through the roof, but like, for example, I'm looking down on the field right now and, Eugenio Suarez is down. Everyone's high-fiving him and stuff. And I'm just watching him and I'm thinking to myself, man, like, I know he didn't perform that well, let's be honest. Had a couple big moments, obviously, in the postseason. But I'm talking about in a regular season environment since coming back in the trade. However, there was a lack of better terms, like a good vibe to this team. And I just feel like something's missing. Like it's tough, man, when you have your guy who 60 home runs or not. But when you have a guy, Cal Raleigh, who's having just and I say this with all due respect, but a historically rough season from what he did last year, it's tough because you're looking at that, your star player and your guy who touches on so many different parts of the roster in regards to the pitching, offense, chemistry in the clubhouse. And, I think he's over for his last 12. And you're thinking to yourself, man, like, it's tough, man. It's tough. So, like, I say all that, and, the team has said this, has echoed this, and Dan Wilson has said it too, that there's a lot in front of him. So you can look at the first half, and you can look at that. You and I were talking about coming back on that Friday out of the break, and just couldn't get it going. And then you win the series, and everything that goes with that. You can say all that, and all of a sudden you take 2 or 3 here from Cincinnati. You take care of business down in Texas, and then you start to get that going. But at the moment, as we talk right now, man, it's been rough for sure.
Hey, what about Cole Young, man? We were talking about him, and I think in spring training, the thought was, maybe he might be a hole, in the infield, and he's just been fantastic. What are you seeing out of him lately? Yeah,
on both sides. Well, first of all, defensively, we've talked about, sung his praises. It's been awesome. And, anyone who hasn't heard me talk about this, I remember talking to him about this in April. I spoke to him about this a little bit more recent. Compared to last year, defensively, once you got to the big leagues, it was you get all this information and you play a little bit more stiff because you got all this info and you're trying to make sure you're in the right spot or get throw to the right bases as the game's moving quick. And he's just playing way freer this year, and you can tell. Offensively, I feel like it's just been like this layering on effect. So, like, coming out of spring training, can you handle lefties? Yeah, all right, check that box. You're doing well enough against lefties. Can you handle fastballs? Well, he's been above average on fastballs, especially plus velocity. Okay, check that box. Can you struggle for a few weeks like he did in the month of May and bounce back? Check that box. Now, all of a sudden, the next layer, I think, as I'm watching him go, now all of a sudden you're starting to see a little bit more of that, that power potential. You're looking at a guy who could potentially, get you 20-plus home runs at second base. And if you can hover around 250, 260 and play that defense, man, I'm telling you, like, it's just kind of this layer on effect offensively. Now, saying all that, sometimes I forget. It's like, hey, hold on. It's not like this guy's a 80th rounder and we just picked him up for a can of Coke. No, he was a big prospect. So, you hope that. But at the same time, even watching this draft just recently with the Mariners and all these other teams, and you sit back and you look and see who the Mariners get and not diving into that. But at the same time, it's very difficult to say, all right, stamp a 20-plus home run second baseman who can hit you 250, 260 and play plus defense. Really hard to get that. And so it's been really impressive.
Ryan, I'll ask you the question we asked our listeners, and that is, given who they are today, not historically, not their talent level overall, but just game on the line, you need somebody in that box that's going to put the ball in play. Maybe something as simple as a sac fly or obviously a base hit, runner on third, games on the line. Who do you trust most after 100 games right now based on who they are right now?
Man, that's tough. Well, honestly, like right now, this is going to sound kind of crazy, but I'm going to go with. Man, it's tough because there's not the usual suspects, right?
Nope.
I'm going to go just because he's starting to swing it on the pull side, and you're talking about just putting the ball in play, or
just you need somebody. You got the winning run on third. It's the bottom of the ninth. You got, let's say, one out, so a sac fly wins the game for you, or the base hit. Who gives you the most confidence when they step in the box? They're either going to come up with that sac fly or that base hit, just based on who they are right now, not their career, but just right now after 100 games. Because you're right, it's not the usual suspects. It's not Cal. It's not Julio. It's not Naylor.
I mean, I'm going to have to go Randy, honestly. At this point, I'm going to have to go Randy, or even though he's just come off the concussion IL, I feel like some good contact before he hit the IL. He was starting to rake and make better swing decisions. That's Julio. I'm going to have to go with those two. And if not those two, if it's on base or keeping an inning going, I'm going to have to go J.P. Crawford. So they're my three options. I know you wanted one, but I have to go, at this point, Randy. Honestly, because the reason I say that is because when it's a clutch moment in regards to putting the ball in play, his plate coverage on pitches outside are ridiculous. And guys are going to try and pitch away from contact, down and away if we're going to go nuance here. And he's able to hit that ball in the right field. So I'm going to have to go Randy.
Yeah.
What do you got on that?
Well, he was in the mix. You named two of the three that I said. I said Randy, JP, or Cole. Cole would be the guy who just seems wildly unaffected by the moment. He just seems to be pretty he is who he is, for better or worse, in every moment. His demeanor doesn't seem to change, and he doesn't look like a guy who presses. So.
I don't give him enough. I guess I didn't give him enough clutch value there, I guess. But, Cole's another good one for sure. Yeah.
I said Cal Raleigh, but, that's just because he's one of my favorites and I like him.
Man, do they need him? For so many reasons, and I heard you guys talking prior to me jumping on. And, yesterday was, okay, if you want to talk about something, because I was all doom and gloom after they just took 2 or 3. But what they did was at the third inning or whatever it was, just getting extra bases. And I say that because, Baseball Savant, you go to baseballsavant.com, and you can go dabble in the base running. And you look at extra bases taken, base running value, runs above average in regards to base running. Man, there's 2 guys with plus scores in there on the Mariners team. One of them is Randy Arozarena, who's running around with a pretty bad hamstring at the moment. All these other teams that aren't, in the top 10 in regards to slug, like the Guardians, the Marlins, the Tampa Bay Rays. You got to, find a way to get that extra base or hit when it counts or just ball in play. All those little things, as cliche, as dumb as that, simple as that sounds, excuse me, it's if you are not going to hit home runs consistently, have the same slug as what you did last year, man, you know what? How do I get extra 90 feet? They did that early in the game yesterday, which was kind of nice.
Yeah, how about Munoz and, what you've seen from him lately? I mean, this is it looks like he's turning back to the form that he was in last year. So I'm just trying to bring up some of the positives right now because it just feels like, and, especially the Cal thing. I just think that has to happen.
It's tough, man. It's tough. It really is.
But Munoz, I mean, in the beginning of the season, it just he kind of looked a little bit shaky a couple of times. It looked like maybe there was something wrong with him. And then he had the heat exhaustion in Washington. And, of course, you know about that because you were walking around looking at monuments and things like that. And you said it was pretty hot there. But yeah, I mean, it seems like there's a good positive sign, right? What have you seen from him lately?
Yeah, looks great, and it's consistent. So, if you asked him, put it this the way, I'll answer that and say, he's been good, and he's found something. Confidence is back. He's on the attack, and all the good stuff that anyone can see. But if you watching him, if I was, let's say I was a pitching coach, and I went out and said, all right, Munoz, against the Cincinnati Reds, we need you to throw 70% slider. So, you can mix in a fastball, but you've got to land that slider. I mean, it would be a struggle. If I, on the flip side, said, hey, man, we want you to go fastball heavy, that's the version we're seeing. And that's the one that, to me, and when you throw 100, 101, or he is now because he's got that conviction to it, that's speaking volumes of where he's at with that fastball. So, like I said, if seconds before I went into the game, it was, hey, fastball heavy, mixing a slider, he's golden. He's all good. If it was the other way around, which we've seen him at times, and I remember when he first got traded over, he was like, I'm just not confident with my fastball, believe it or not. So he'd go just slider all day and try and get guys to chase. And that's, to me, the margin for error is so small, and he's not a command guy at all. He's pretty much, he's admitted this to me, have Cal set up down the middle, and I'm just shooting for that mask. It's like, all right, okay, because it's just the command he's not confident with. He doesn't need to be, by the way. And so I think watching him being fastball heavy, the cadence in between pitches, and the presence he has, catching that ball back on the mound, staring in. He's got, he's just bigger on the mound when he does that. And he's just, you sort of see some of the swings from, the Giants. That last inning is just like, yeah, can we just get back on the bus? Like, we're done. Like, we're good now. Like, we can just wave the white flag. That's how it looked, man. So he's in a good spot.
Hey, what was your take on the rotation in this series? Because you almost had 3 quality starts. So you were an out shy for Miller. He goes 5 2/3, gives up 3 runs, 2 of them earned. The defense kind of, putting a little dent in things in his start, and Wu, by the way. They both gave up 3 runs. Both gave up 2 earned runs in their starts. But you got quality starts out of Wu and Gilbert. Just overall, what was your feeling about the rotation, what you saw from those 3?
All right, so to zoom out again with this team, and like I feel like I'm just like finding nitpicking here. Well, not nitpicking, but all right, they take 2 or 3, and I'm talking about, hey, this team needs to find some kind of good vibe to it, or whatever I said earlier on. I'm looking at Gino Suarez. Okay, all right, it's. First of all, Bryce Miller, Bob, you and I were there, and we heard him talk about his the blister on his finger, or whatever it was. I was a little concerned, I'm not going to lie, man, because the velocity dipped at the end there in those last 20% of that outing, and the backspin wasn't quite there, and he lost some of that stuff. And by the way, he was bouncing off a start that he got 0 swing and miss on his fastball. That concerned me a little bit, but he's talking about the blister. All right, all good. So that was like, whew, that was a bit of a relief. Then you got Brian Wu, who comes out, pitches really good at home. And I'm sitting there going, awesome, high five. Let's do that on the road.
Yep.
Because we need you to do that on the road, because 50% of these outings we're going to walk into in August and September, when this is going to be potentially a game or a half a game in it, with whether it be the Texas Rangers or a wild card spot or whatever. Dude, we need you to do that on the road. So it's like, yep, sweet, man, good job. Now let's try and figure out a way to do it on the road. And then Logan Gilbert, I put him in the same category, and pretty much I could just insert his name into that Munoz conversation we just had. Getting on that fastball and being confident with it, and the velocity's up, and everything else. It's like, man, it seems way more easier said than done, but he has got something in his head right now saying, all right, I'm going to attack you with a heater. He's more conventional, a high percentage of fastballs, and everything's better off it. And on top of that, he's throwing the secondary pitches. He threw the secondary pitches way harder, man. That's a great sign. That means he's not feeling through anything at all. Logan Gilbert is going to have a really nice run in these next couple months. You can just see it, and you can even tell. I talk about some of the swings against and the approach. Man, it's exciting what his second half's going to look like. Keep in mind, too, going back a year ago, where he was at the All-Star break last year, yes, he was off the IL. Nowhere near was the same. I remember when he came off that elbow injury, man, it took months all the way up until the end of the year to have, pitch number 78, 86, that 96, 97. Because his velocity, we talked about this, velocity would dip, the stuff wasn't the same. He threw pitch, I think it was pitch number 93, it was 97 miles per hour. I mean, it's exciting what Logan Gilbert's going to do. But to talk about the other 2 guys, Bryce, get that finger right, because he's been excellent. Not to mention he's got a baseball camp with me in about a couple of weeks. I think
that's really the priority.
Nice.
And then on top of that too, with Brian, it's like, hey man, awesome. All right, how do we take that onto the road, and you can just go 7 innings, give up 2 runs, and feel really good about what you do next time you're out on the road.
All right, Ryan, so you've got the Mets in the National League, Colorado, San Francisco, not good. Mm-hmm. The Reds, 45 and 53. What do you see, any threats there? I know you've kind of honed in on them, but tell us about Cincinnati.
Yeah, so I'll give you just an overall. I mean, offensively, nothing great, in regards to what they do offensively. They're 21st in runs per game. Batting average, they're 27th. Nothing really there, but there are a couple guys in that lineup that can get you. And then on the pitching side, that's where this is where the Mariners, when you walk into you take 2 or 3 from the Giants. I said this at the beginning of the homestand. Then you got the Cincinnati Reds. The pitching is where you got to do some damage here. You got the bullpen's 25th, not good. And this team, the Mariners, if you want to build confidence, you got to do it late. Just take care of that bullpen. get in deep with that bullpen if the rotation is not going to get deep. But you got to do some damage here. You got to take 2 or 3 on this trip, or otherwise our conversation next Monday will probably be more doom and gloom, when it should be my favorite 15 to 20 minutes of the week.
Yeah, it's this is going to be an interesting series because, again, we kind of come out of this series with the Giants going, yeah, they won the series, but you feel a little not overly confident. What's interesting, we were talking about Colt Emerson, who turns 21 years old today, Ryan. He's 21 today. How about that? It's interesting. I said one of the great things that I saw over the weekend is this part isn't great, but he is struggling big time in July. Yep. He's hitting a $114 in July with like a 158 on base. It's brutal.
Yep.
And it's kind of gone down each month. So I don't know if that's the league adjusting to him, and now he's got to make his adjustments, whatever that is. You can weigh in on that. But what I love is for a young guy that he does not carry that into the field with him. We saw him make a brilliant defensive play in extra innings that kept the runner from advancing from second to third. Jumps up, diving in the hole, jumps up, throws a missile over to Naylor. You see Naylor pump his fist immediately on that play. You see Ferrer pointing to, that was a huge play. He lays down a great bunt. He's finding ways to be a positive out there, I guess is my point, for a young guy who could very easily carry his struggles at the plate into the field with him.
For sure. And also, too, just his demeanor, at 21, almost like he's kind of like, he's oblivious to the fact that he is struggling. Now, let's talk about the struggles for a second. The league is wearing him out. Again, if you click on the illustrated tab on Baseball Savant, anyone can do it. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to do it. Click on a heat map and see where they're pitching. You talked about that month. You can look at that month, and it's just a big giant red at the top of the strike zone. And then look at the swing and miss up there. They are wearing him out at the top of the strike zone with 94 plus, and just living there when it counts, when it counts. So that young man has to find a way at 21 years old, find a way to get to that pitch, and then that will change the way they're pitching to him. Now, the other thing on this as well, we talk about, this team needs the veteran players to step up and yada yada, or Cal, whatever. Think about it like this. It's going to be interesting. We haven't even talked about, the trade deadline or the potential of what they are going to try and add. We talk about the right-handed offensive, bat is a big one. Mm-hmm. Okay, so if you look around the infield, you've got a situation where Brendan Donovan's coming back. That would be huge. You've got JP, looks like he's playing third base. Cole Young's we already talked about him. Naylor's are at first base, because he's underperforming for Naylor. You look at this trade deadline, you think to yourself, okay, hang on. How do we add and where do we add them? Because you've got Randy in left field, who's an all-star, Julio at center, and then right field, you've got a little bit of that Ken Zone, who's been doing really well. Luke Raley's swinging a little bit better. So who do you go out and find a right-handed outfielder? There's not a whole lot. And in the infield, you're looking at this going, well, you're not going to send Colt Emerson to AAA. That's just not going to happen, because he's Colt Emerson. So he's playing shortstop, whether you like it or not, when it counts. And this is going to be a situation where you need certain guys in this lineup to step up, man. He's going to make a big impact on what this team does in these next couple of months. That's for sure. Even at 21.
Ryan, as always, great stuff, my friend. We look forward to it each and every week. And hopefully after this series, heading into Texas, we're talking about momentum. We're talking about how this team built up some great momentum against the Reds.
Yeah, so you can have some more laughs on this 10 to 15 minutes. Man, too serious. What's going on?
It's way too serious.
I blame you two.
We count on your comedy.
No, I blame Bob Stelton for putting me in a bad mood on Friday night. It's his fault.
It was me.
He set the tone for the rest of the weekend. Thanks a lot.
I sat there in the post game with them. I said, I'm not going down to the clubhouse. I'm not going. I just sat there with him and Shannon.
Oh, man.
Appreciate you, Ryan. We'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
There you go. There's Ryan Rowland-Smith with us each and every week. His appearances are brought to you by Mazda of Everett. Meanwhile, there could be a surprising position battle for the Seahawks during training camp. We'll get into that coming up next with Wyman and Bob. It's Seattle Sports on 710.
Jeff Passan every Tuesday morning at 8:30 with Brock and Salk.
Brought to you by your Western Washington Toyota dealers.
What can be the elixir to begin the second half for Cal Raleigh?
Just getting back to the basics. In his case, let's get the ball and play a little bit more. And a lot of this is swinging at pitches that he shouldn't be swinging at. Cal Raleigh will fix himself. I absolutely, firmly believe that.
Get more on the Seattle Sports YouTube page and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, it's summertime, and if you're like me, you're spending nights on the patio listening to the game and enjoying what makes our area so beautiful. It's Dave Wyman here, and I have just the offer for you to get the most out of your outdoor living space. $500 off each window, $750 off patio and entry doors, and $200 off the final total project. I've loved working with Harley Exteriors. They are a local company. They're right here in Bothell. They're down-to-earth people who enjoy the same things we all do, rooting on our local teams and doing the best job we possibly can day in and day out. And use Harley Exteriors to complete your home space and receive 12 or 18-month promotional financing. So if you want to get a hold of them, call 833-HARLEY. That's HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com.
Qualified buyers only. Subject to credit approval and lender terms. Minimum purchase of 4 qualifying windows required. Windows must be 36 by 36 inches or larger. No size minimum on patio or entry doors. Financing subject to approved credit. Offers cannot be combined with other promotions. Offer expires July 31st, 2026.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change presents Wisdom from the Road.
Summer means wide open spaces and a whole lot of extra miles. The last place you want your engine to give out is halfway to nowhere. Out here, low oil or a weak battery is just an ambush waiting to happen. That's why every oil change at Valvoline Instant Oil Change includes an 18-point maintenance check. These techs are trained to help spot issues early and keep you riding easy.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
Change wisely.
Do you need a new roof? Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free estimate and secure $500 off your project this summer. Our technicians build a custom plan to ensure a high-quality roof installation every time. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Cool cars, cool people, good tires. It's the Good Guys 38th Griot's Garage Pacific Northwest Nationals, a giant car show featuring over 3,000 of the Northwest's finest hot rods, muscle cars, classic trucks, and more. Enjoy live music, a free family fun zone featuring the Auto World Model Car Make and Take, and Earth-Shaking Nitro Thunderfest, and more. Happening all this weekend at the Washington State Fair Event Center in Puyallup. Details at good-guys.com.
Dealing with divorce and custody issues can be terrifying and very lonely, but you don't need to face it alone. Goldberg Jones has been helping Northwest husbands and fathers for more than 30 years. Thousands of men have put their trust in us. You can too. Learn more at goldbergjones.com.
Onyx, I keep having stomach issues. Please make me a doctor's appointment.
Okay, are you suffering from diarrhea, bloating, gas, or oily stools? If so, you may want to ask your doctor if it could actually be a problem with your pancreas, called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI.
My pancreas? How is EPI treated?
A prescription medicine like Creon, pancrelipase, is used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes. Creon is the #1 prescribed treatment for EPI.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. You can learn more at 1-800-633-9110.
Before your appointment, visit creoninfo.com. That's CREON info.com.
Just 5 days
until training camp for the Super Bowl champs. And nobody has it covered like the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
The Boeing Classic welcomes the world's greatest golf legends to the Pacific Northwest, August 14th through the 16th at the club at Snoqualmie Ridge. Watch Masters champions and Golf Hall of Famers compete for a $2.3 million purse at the only PGA Tour champion stop in the region. Bring the whole family and make sure to check out the Seahawks Village, packed with fun for all ages. Tickets start at just $20 and kids get in free. Visit BoeingClassic.com to get yours today.
Call 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-330-8323 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-330-8323. That's 800-330-8323. What do you have to lose? Call 800-330-8323. Again, 800-330-8323.
This hour of Wyman and Bob is brought to you by K2 Vision RLE.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Our thanks once again to Ryan Rowland-Smith, who joined us in the previous segment. In case you just tuned in and missed that conversation, you'll be able to find it on the podcast page after the show. Just go to seattlesports.com, click the podcast tab, click on our picture. It'll be right there waiting for you. And don't forget, you can click subscribe. It's totally free, and it just shows up for you every day. It's beautiful. Meanwhile, taking a look at training camp, which, again, we will be broadcasting live from Seahawks training camp starting next Monday, 1 week from today. And potentially, there's always position battles out there, but I guess maybe one of the more surprising ones would be for that backup spot. And Ian Rappaport on the Insiders says he feels like there's a strong competition for that backup spot with the Seahawks.
Yeah, and that actually would be great news for Seattle. Not just that they have a legitimate competition, but if Jalen Milroe can come out and win it, would not only justify that draft pick, but also give them another potential option. We'll see into the future for Seattle. That would be excellent, excellent news if Jalen Milroe does, in fact, win that job.
I don't doubt there's a competition. I certainly don't think they go into camp and they just anoint Drew Lock as the backup and that's the end of the conversation by any stretch. But from what we've seen when we've watched, there doesn't seem to be a lot of what would I say? I don't feel like they're that close when we watch them throw the ball out there. It doesn't feel that close to me. Now, maybe Milroe's been working on a lot of stuff, and he's going to look completely different. You certainly allow for that. And him talking about justifying that draft pick. They spent a third-round pick on him. So I get that part of it, but I don't think that's going to inform their decision-making. I think they're going to go with who gives us the best chance to win a game if Sam Darnold goes down.
Yeah, and if Sam Darnold goes down, I would expect it would go this way, that Drew Lock's probably going to be your backup this year. And, we still don't know what Milroe is best at. We saw him in college, and then John talked about when he drafted him that he wanted to use him like as a weapon and, kind of sprinkle him in here and there. And then that really never materialized. And then, what they started doing, and this is what we've seen. And I talked to Matt Hasselbeck about this, by the way, and I was like, why do you think they're not using Jalen Milroe in a way where you put him in, a run package and do all kinds of different, no drop back passes. And, Matt was saying, well, they know what he can do as far as that's, he can run the ball and he can, be part of an option maybe and all that kind of stuff. Or, some kind of a play action pass game, whatever. But, what they don't know is whether or not he can be a drop back passer. And you and I were sitting there looking at him that one day, and then I'd been out there a few other days where he didn't look great as far as just a drop back passer. Yeah. And that's just that. I think that's what they're trying to develop. So that makes it hard to kind of figure out what's their plan. And maybe we'll get a better feeling when we're out there at camp and figure that out. But right now, I think Drew Lock's definitely your backup quarterback because I don't think whatever they're going to do with Jalen Milroe has developed enough.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's a good question because I know that they really like him, and I think John especially had a pretty good idea in his head about what he wanted to do with him. And we didn't see really any of that.
He's super intriguing. I get the appeal or the excitement about his potential because he's an athlete. I mean, he's just a guy who you look at and go, wow, he could be a real problem for a defense. And he throws a nice tight spiral, and he's got it. Looks like he's got zip on the ball. That's not the problem. It's just his accuracy. Just when we were watching him that day, and you've certainly seen him on a number of other days. I watched him last year as a rookie, and you just take that with a grain of salt. It's his first time out there and all of that. But just in these mini camps that we watched, I was like, yeah, his accuracy just isn't there. To me, it didn't seem like much of a competition because I would say arguably that every time I look at Drew Lock out there throwing the ball compared to the other two, and that includes he looks better in practice. He looks really good when you see him out there. And I'm not making the case that he's a superstar or anything like that. He throws a very nice ball. He's accurate. He looks confident out there. It didn't seem like it was much of a competition, at least there. But look, that can absolutely change, and I'm intrigued by the potential of Milroe. I just don't know, if to me, he would have to take a pretty big step from what we've seen in order to supplant Drew Lock.
Yeah.
That's what my eyes tell me. Now, what they're seeing behind the scenes, they're certainly seeing a ton more than I would ever hope to see. So maybe there's some things in his, pros and cons column, the pro column that we're not seeing that they're going, hey, man, this is really good, and this is also really good, but just the eye test of watching them throwing to receivers like everybody else out there, to me, it didn't feel that close.
Yeah, no. I mean, and it really, there's nothing to go on. I mean, you don't want to look at that Green Bay game because, last year and at the end of preseason because they were just like using him as a drop back passer. That's not really what he does. His best game was in the preseason against the Chiefs. And he went 3 for 5 for 46 yards, and he showed some, some flash and everything. He ran the ball a couple of times. But, that's going to be one of the cooler sort of stories to watch during camp to see what exactly are they going to do with him. What's the plan going forward? But I just don't know with their offense right now. They're working so hard. You got a new offensive coordinator. You got new running back. You really want to run the ball. I don't know how much they're going to get to that, Yeah. I mean, if you can only work on so many things and you can concentrate on the things that you really want to. And so, but, look, I mean, we've seen a couple of practices where you're right. I mean, he throws a really sweet looking ball, but it's just not, we saw him inaccurate a couple of times. And then, especially when it's him in the pocket.
Yeah.
But, there was lots of plays where you're like, man, you could roll that guy out on the edge. He's got an option to throw or run. I mean, it seems like there's lots of ways to use that guy, but I don't know if he's going to get lost in the wash because they have a lot of things to do on offense.
Do you agree that I don't think John or even more specifically Mike are going to do anything based on his draft position? I don't think there's going to be like, hey, we got to make this look good. We got to get something out of this because of where we picked him. Yeah, he represents a level of commitment. You spent draft capital on him as a third-round pick, so that represents something. But I also don't think Mike cares where anybody was drafted. I think he's just looking at who gives me the best chance to win. I don't give a damn if they're a free agent or a first-round pick. Do you sense any sort of extra urgency to develop him because of where he was drafted?
No, I don't. I don't think John thinks that way. I really don't. I think he's willing to cut bait and move on if it was something that they just missed on or it just didn't come up. There really hasn't been an opportunity for him.
Yeah.
So that he might fall through the cracks that way, and that's one of those things. But it's funny. The first round, second round, third. Once camp starts, I feel like a lot of that just goes away. It just does. I mean, I think especially the fans, you want the first, second, third rounders to be participating and do well. But like once it, you don't care if the guy's an undrafted free agent. If he beats out a second rounder, you want that guy on the field.
Yeah.
So it's very unclear what he is going to be, and that's why I think he could be one of the more interesting stories, like I said, in camp, because he's definitely a very talented athlete. But how are they going to use him? Because it's a pretty big departure going from Sam Darnold to him. I mean, you would have to put But they talked about putting Robbie Utes in there, and maybe some play action pass or him running the ball or whatever. I think those kinds of things they know he can do, but now they're trying to develop him as just a drop back passer, and that's really probably what we're going to see mostly. But I don't know what their tolerance is for. How long are they going to carry him? And maybe he's a good trade capital guy at some point.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch. I mean, I get why people are excited about his potential because and I know Russell's persona non grata for a lot of fans, but what made him exciting was his ability to throw the ball and his ability to keep a play alive with his mobility, his athleticism. And I think you feel like there's a version of that with Jalen Milroe there, but he's bigger. He's not the 5'10" and 5'8" guy. So I think people get excited about, well, he could be potentially that kind of player again. You might have another version of that. So
remember Russell's breakout game in Kansas City? And I remember I got on the plane afterwards, and Pete Carroll goes, "What'd you think of that? Why, man?" I was like, that was freaking awesome.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
And, to have that, and Russ wasn't the fastest guy in the world, but I remember describing the one play he ran up the middle, and it was like Indiana Jones with everything crumbling behind him with the ball rolling towards him, and Russ just stayed ahead. And I mean,
just fast enough.
Yeah. And you love to see quarterbacks make those kinds of plays. And I think that's the kind of excitement that Jalen Milroe can bring. But, you've got a pretty good starting, quarterback and a pretty good backup there in Drew Lock. And based on what they want to do, it's your third coordinator in as many years. But I don't know, maybe he's like, hey, man, I got some ideas for this Jalen Milroe kid.
All right, coming up, it's been the most baffling part of the Mariners season by far, and we're going to get into that coming up next with Wyman and Bob. It's Seattle Sports on 710.
Seattle Sports, home of Brock and Salk, morning 6 to 10.
What are the priorities in the second half? Number one for me, you got to clean it up. Start playing cleaner baseball.
Include Naylor in that. I'm going to have a lot more emphasis on him because he was a major straw that stirred the drink in their run in August and September last year.
That's fine. You can focus on Naylor all you want. I'll still be focused on, Cal, the guy who hit 60 home runs and had the greatest season ever for a catcher last year.
Watch live or later on the Seattle Sports YouTube channel.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman for Swedish Cyberknife. In my 6 years of working with Swedish Cyberknife, I've had the pleasure of speaking with several patients who offer a glowing endorsement of their prostate cancer treatment. Tim Hunter, he's a lifelong local radio host, and he underwent the entire Swedish Cyberknife treatment for prostate cancer in just 1 week, Monday through Friday, each session lasting less than an hour, and he chose Swedish Cyberknife because it was only 5 days of treatment versus several months with other treatments. And on top of that, Swedish Cyberknife had by far the least interruption to his daily life. There's no surgery, no catheter, and the recovery was incredibly quick for Tim. He heard about the Cyberknife treatment from our radio commercials, just like you're hearing right now. So if you, a friend, or a family member is diagnosed with prostate cancer, schedule a consultation with Swedish Cyberknife at swedish.org/cyberknife. Prostate. Cyberknife is a registered trademark of Accuray Incorporated and is used with permission.
Jane is a small business owner.
That's right.
And tell them what that's like, Jane.
Yeah, well, it's like a roller coaster with a lot of ups and downs, and some days things can feel like they're flying off the rails.
Yep, it's a lot. But the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business can help you manage it all. With the largest, fastest fiber-powered network designed for 100% reliability with business internet and wireless connect. Plus gig speeds with security and equipment included. All with a 5-year price lock.
Nice. So everything stays on track.
Exactly. The Total Solutions Advantage. Get started for just $60 a month for 12 months when you add wireless connect to a qualifying internet package. No one does business like Comcast Business.
Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year agreement, paperless billing, and automatic payments with bank account required. $60 offer requires 300 meg internet, security edge, and additional qualifying service. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses, or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code CLEAR to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code CLEAR to borrow up to $10,000. Use code CLEAR to borrow up to $10,000.
Ready to relax, unwind, and feel your best? The Spa Warehouse Summer Savings Expo is on now. Enjoy big savings on in-stock hot tubs and swim spas. Hot tubs start as low as $3,999 with savings up to $3,000 on select models. Score incredible deals on in-stock swim spas. Save up to $7,700. Plus, interest-free financing through 2028 on approved credit. The expo ends July 31st. Don't delay. Your best life starts at the Spa Warehouse.
Mariners and Reds tonight at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40, 5:30 pregame. Get every pitch of every game for free on the Seattle Sports app.
This summer, there are 250 reasons to join T-Mobile.
Girls trip? Booked. And switching to T-Mobile helped make it happen.
With Experience Beyond, switch and get $100 back. Plus, $650 in value in built-in plan benefits. That's $750 in your first year, guaranteed.
And honestly, that $100 back, I'm putting it towards the zip line.
Now that's how you do summer.
Exactly. Best switch I ever made.
This is just one reason to join T-Mobile this summer. There are 250 reasons. Find yours.
Savings based on the value of benefits included with Experience Beyond, like entertainment and 1 year of AAA Classic and Dash Pass on Us. Benefits may require activation. See plan for details. Get $100 via virtual prepaid MasterCard with eligible ported, no cash access, and expires in 6 months. Issued by Sunrise Banks, N.A. member FDIC. Allow 8 weeks.
Your bathroom deserves a refresh. Call it a mid-season upgrade. Dave Wyman here for Fast Home Services, and right now, take advantage of 15% off a tub or shower refresh. Want to upgrade further? Bidet seats install for just $3.99. From leaks to full upgrades, it's the same plumbing expertise you've trusted since 1986. Call 1-800-THINK-FAST to book your free in-home estimate, or visit fasthomeservices.com for a virtual quote in seconds for water heaters, plumbing, HVAC, and electrical services.
The Boeing Classic welcomes the world's greatest golf legends to the Pacific Northwest, August 14th through the 16th at the club at Snoqualmie Ridge. Watch Masters champions and Golf Hall of Famers compete for a $2.3 million purse at the only PGA Tour champion stop in the region. Bring the whole family and make sure to check out the Seahawks Village, packed with fun for all ages. Tickets start at just $20 and kids get in free. Visit BoeingClassic.com to get yours today.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Coming up in the 4 o'clock hour, Brady Henderson of ESPN.com will join us on the program, talk some Seahawks with him. Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. Much of what we've talked about with the Mariners and struggling offense, it's certainly not just one guy, but there's one main guy that is right now a shadow of who he was last year, and that's Cal Raleigh. At what point do you, as a Cal Raleigh super fan, start to worry, Dave? Because you got 62 games left in the regular season. He went 0 for 10 in this series with 1 walk, 0 for his last 12. In July, we talked about Colt Emerson hitting a $114. He's a 21-year-old, his first taste of the big leagues.
Yeah.
In July, Cal's hitting a $156 with a 264 on base and a 267 slug. He's healthy. You certainly allowed when he got back. You're like, look, he's not going to just come out of the gates, even though he was killing it in AAA. It felt like every time we looked up, he was hitting a home run. But as we talked about, it's a different world at the major league level than AAA pitching. So he's had a moment here or a moment there, and you feel like, okay, here he goes, and it just has not happened yet. Do we need to start going, you know what? Yeah, he's not going to be this bad for the remaining 62, but the idea that he's going to be anything close to what he was last year is probably not realistic either. Are we just hoping for something in between? Like, just give me – I've been saying, just give me that threat. Just be a threat in the lineup. Now, what does that mean? How do you define that? Just be a guy who's just hot enough for the pitcher and the pitching coach on the other team and as a game plan to face this team. You got to be careful with this guy. You got to be careful with this guy in this zone. You can't throw him this pitch because right now he's tearing the cover off the ball on these sliders or these fastballs up in this zone. Whatever it is, I just need him to be that guy to a certain extent because he just isn't right now.
I know. I think the most disappointed I've been has been, that last series against Tampa and Miami. Now, I mean, he went in there and he actually, he got a couple of hits actually going into that game. But more than anything, there was a hitting coach that was like, man, Cal is really close. And he did. He got what, 4 or 5 hits on that road trip going to Miami and Tampa.
You feel like, okay, he's starting to find it.
Starting to repair a little bit. And then he goes 0 for 10 in this series. So that's the part that's so discouraging. But I was looking at, I don't think I pulled up exactly the right numbers, but Jake Berger, I think he's playing first base for the Rangers.
You like him?
Yeah, he went on because I saw on MLB Network, he went on this streak, and I don't know if I pulled the exact, right amount, but an 18-game hitting streak. Guy was batting .349 with 1,000 OPS, 4 home runs, 6 doubles. And so I feel like Cal is totally capable of that. Totally capable. And only 18 strikeouts in those 18 games. And I'm like, that looks like something that Cal could do. And when I saw that stat, I was like, that looks like Cal. That looks like something that he can do. And we just haven't seen it. So like I said, I'm really disappointed because, we heard from a lot of people that were saying, hey, it looks like he's on it. Because remember that Friday before they left, you sent that whole breakdown of how he's missing. Mm-hmm. And really what it was he's just a little bit off. Yeah. He's a little bit late on almost everything. The high fastball's getting to him. And it was just like, man, okay, it looks like he's going to figure things out. And then he goes over in this series against San Francisco.
Yeah, and the 2 previous ABs prior to this series. So it's like Ryan threw out over his last 12.
Yeah.
Which in the course of a season, you're going, okay, that's going to happen. But considering the way his season's gone, you're going, uh-oh, this is not good because he's just so crucial to what they want to do offensively. Yeah, we can talk about who he is as a catcher. And look, here's the other thing. And I see people on social media, and it's all emotion. You sit him down, bench him, call Parade up. Yeah, blah, blah. Cal's not getting benched. No. Okay? You don't have a better option than Cal right now. You want to bring Parade back up to be his backup? I'm fine with that. But you're not going to bench him in favor of Garver. Garver is clearly not tearing the cover off the ball. And he's, outside of his success with the ABS challenges, he's not better than Cal anywhere behind the plate. Yeah. So he's not an option. So as far as your big league team sits right now, the idea will sit him down, bench him, that's not going to help you because Mitch doesn't provide a spark. He's not a guy you look to for a spark. He's a guy that when he steps into the box, unfortunately, and look, there's a lot of good qualities and the pitchers like working with him and things like that, but I don't have any confidence he's going to do anything when he steps into the box, and I almost feel like he doesn't either at times. So you don't have really a fallback with Cal. He's got to get it going. He's your guy. He's the guy, and they batted him as low as 6th during one game this weekend. I don't know what else you do with him besides dropping him in the order. I don't know. This is where, obviously we talk about it. Who do you blame? Is it the coaches, the player? It's always the player, as you talk about. It always comes down to the player executing. But, man, Edgar and Seitzer and Bobby Maglias, they need to figure something out here because he's just – we're not talking about Leo Rivas here. We're not talking about with all due respect to him. You're not talking about a utility guy. You're not talking about, Mastroboni or even Rayleigh or somebody. You're talking about somebody who is absolutely crucial to what your team is trying to get done here, who's just not performing.
Yeah. Well, the 253 said DH Cal. I don't know. I think that's a terrible idea just because he's so valuable to our pitching staff. So
if I thought that would help him, or if he thought it more importantly, or they thought it, I would be in favor of that. I mean, yeah, Garver's not better than him behind the plate, but if that gets Cal's bat going, sign me up. But I don't know if he believes that or they believe that.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't seem like he's worn down or he's tired or anything like that. So, yeah, I mean, you would be taking away really his best value to this team right now. So, yeah, I don't get that, but it's a great question just because it's like how long are they going to go? You know, what if he goes 0-4 in this next, 0-4 in this next 3-game series?
Maybe they're batting him eighth.
Yeah.
I just don't know what you do.
Down.
I mean, you can't.
Yeah.
I mean, unless they do call Pareda up. I mean, the idea of sitting him and starting Garver makes no sense because Garver is not any. I'd rather the struggling Cal up at the plate than Garver. Mm-hmm. I just even with his struggles as bad as they've been, I have more faith he's going to get something done.
Yeah, it just has to happen. It just does. We can't be here a week from now talking about he's on the road trip and he's still let's say he gets one hit, I mean, I won't know what to think.
Yeah, it's going to be, let's hope we're not having that conversation. Meanwhile, the Mariners' 50 season celebration weekend begins August 7th. We want to send you and a friend to be part of the celebration. You'll get a chance to watch batting practice before the gates open, then stick around for the game and the Alumni Home Run Derby featuring the great Rowland-Smith. To enter, all you need to do is open the Seattle Sports app. If you don't already have the app, just text the word app, APP, to 866-979-3776. We'll send you a link to download it. It's completely free. You can enter every day to increase your chances to win. The contest runs through Monday, July 27th. Meanwhile, one member of the rotation has emerged as the true ace of the staff this season. We'll get into that coming up next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Jeff Passan every Tuesday morning at 8:30 with Brock and Salk.
Brought to you by your Western Washington Toyota dealers.
What can be the elixir to begin the second half for Cal Raleigh?
Just getting back to the basics. In his case, let's get the ball in play a little bit more. And a lot of this is swinging at pitches that he shouldn't be swinging at. Cal Raleigh will fix himself. I absolutely, firmly believe that.
Get more on the Seattle Sports YouTube page and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, are you somebody that has a pair of readers around you at all times and you're just tired of it, whether it's you got them in every room of your house like I did and you have to have them in your car like I did, and if you didn't bring them into a restaurant, you wouldn't be able to read the menu, or if you didn't bring them into a store, you couldn't read labels? That's where I was at, and I got tired of it. I finally had to make a decision, and it turned out to be one of the best in my life. That's when I went to K2 Vision RLE for refractive lens exchange. It's a whole new world. When you add K2 Vision and King LASIK together, you get Freedom Vision for every stage of life. LASIK and EVO ICL from King LASIK gives you freedom from glasses and contacts. Refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE adds extra freedom from readers and cataracts. So again, if you struggle with your vision and need readers all the time, K2 Vision RLE could be your perfect and permanent solution, and you'll never develop a cataract. With over 400,000 procedures, Doctors Kopstein and King are the two of the most experienced vision correction surgeons in America. So again, whether it's LASIK, EVO ICL, or RLE, trust the most experienced team of doctors out there with all of the data to recommend the very best procedure for you. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today. Just go to K2VisionRLE.com. King LASIK and K2 Vision RLE, no glasses, contacts, readers, or cataracts. That's K2VisionRLE.com.
How would you like to invest in the Seattle real estate market, one of the hottest and most stable regions in the country, and achieve a great rate of return on your investment without the effort of sourcing a deal, the expense and time of building permits, or all the hassles that come with being a landlord? Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Invest in the stability and ease of Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund. Legacy Group Capital at LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
Stay cool this summer and save big. Lake Washington Windows and Doors delivers the quality, comfort, and energy-saving performance you deserve. During July, buy 3 windows or doors and get 1 free. Plus, make no payments for 12 months. LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
When it comes to my policy, Farmers gives it to me straight, so there's no surprises.
It's your coverage. You should never be confused.
You hear that? An insurance provider with a conscience.
We're a choir, but yes, we have that too.
Straightforward coverage you can literally understand. That's what you get when
you have Farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Learn more at farmers.com. Underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or Affiliate. Products not available in every state.
We're kicking off a football frenzy that can net you up to $10,000 in cash. Don't stand on the sidelines. Get on the pitch and join the fun. Hourly hot seat drawings run every Saturday night from 7 p.m. till midnight in June and July. Take your shot at $10,000 every week. The field's wide open.
Don't forget, your Reef Rewards card can save you up to 25 cents per gallon at Lummi Bay Market next to Silver Reef.
Silver Reef Casino Resort, located off I-5 exit 260.
Les Schwab Tires has been proudly serving communities for over 70 years, and we've collected thousands of inspiring stories. Like Kate, who was off on a long road trip with her best friend when the dash lit up like a game show. They find the nearest Les Schwab. Turns out they really needed an oil change. It was done in a flash. Road trip saved. At Les Schwab, we're proud to keep you rolling. Les Schwab Tires. Our greatest story is yours. Stories are composites inspired by real customer feedback.
This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Our summertime savings event means 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months, backed by our unbeatable warranties. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
When you see this in your kitchen,
The stainless steel fridge is covered in fingerprints.
you hear this.
Leslie, people are going to think you were raised in a barn or by wolves, or raised in a barn by wolves.
Fortunately, Wyman Stainless Steel 3-in-1 cleans, shines, and protects to give you the best shine. A spray and a wipe will have your fridge shining like a mirror.
Wow, my fridge looks brand new. Your fridge looks amazing, Leslie. Sorry, I was being a little dramatic earlier.
Your kitchen says a lot about you. Let it brag with Wyman.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners get back to it this evening as they welcome the Cincinnati Reds and Gino Suarez back to town. Game 1 of the 3-game series coming your way tonight. George Kirby goes for your Seattle Mariners. He goes up against Andrew Abbott. You can catch it all starting at 5:30 with a pregame show. 6:40 first pitch right here, Seattle Sports on 710. Just one game going on right now. They're headed to the top of the second in Cleveland, where the Guardians are up 3-0 on the Twins. One note in the world of the NFL as it pertains to the Seahawks. They have announced that they put safety Nick Emanwari, running back Kenny McIntosh, and cornerback Tyrone Broden on the PUP list to begin training camp. And as our guy Brady Henderson, who will be with us this hour, reminds us, anyone placed on the PUP list can be activated and returned to practice at any point during camp. If they're still on the PUP list on the roster cutdown day, which is August 30th this year, they'll have to miss at least the first 4 games of the regular season.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Coming up at 4:30, Brady Henderson of ESPN.com will join us on the program. We'll talk some Seahawks with him. Meanwhile, taking a look at this Mariner team, we get ready for the matchup with the Reds tonight, game 1 of a 3-game series before they take to the road and face off against the Texas Rangers, who, as we said, are a half game in front of the Mariners in the AL West. So we'll see who wants it most, because everybody's just kind of hanging. Nobody's running away with this thing. Meanwhile, the rotation, once again, has been the case in year after year after year. It's been the last 5, 6, 7, 8, I don't know. The rotation has carried this team. The pitching has carried this team. It's been all about what they have done as a rotation. Some years certainly more than others. Last year it was a lot about Cal, 60 home runs, his offense. Rotation dealt with a lot of injuries. This year the rotation is back to carrying this team because we've chronicled how bad the offense is, where they rank. They're at the bottom 30 teams. They're 28 here. They're 27 there, 28 here. They've scored the 3rd fewest runs of any team in Major League Baseball. So the pitching is crucial, to say the least, to this team. And I almost feel bad for them. I mean, they're getting paid a lot of money. It's their job. But it just feels like they just cannot make a mistake. They cannot afford a bad night because the offense just – they're not there to bail them out. More often than not, if you're a starter and you give up 4 runs, you're feeling like probably going to lose this game.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, you look at the one bad outing that Bryce Miller has had. I mean, he almost got a quality start the other day, right? But he went
5 and
2/3. But, he had the game at Miami where, he pitches 5 and gives up 4 earned runs. Other than that, all have been quality starts. It just seems like, I don't know, we haven't really done this year. Hasn't been super cut and dried, but I think, maybe Bryce Miller's your ace right now. But the other thing that Charlie Furbush points out all the time is whip. It's .88. It's phenomenal. 2.27 ERA. So, the pitching has it just hasn't slowed down. And it's been consistently good the entire year. And like you said, 28th is where they average in the slash line, like average on-base percentage, slug, OPS. Brutal offense going on right now. But, the pitching has just been phenomenal. And it's kind of a shame because, I always say I hate it when they waste good pitching. And that's really what they've done this year.
Yeah, a lot. There's been a lot of good pitching that's been wasted, certainly.
Yeah, that's such a bummer when you see that happen.
Yeah, there haven't been many the other way. You'll see games sometimes where your offense puts up 8 runs, but you lose 10-8 or something like that. And you're like, all right, you can't have that either. But it's been much more one-sided.
Right.
It's been much more one-sided where your pitchers, your starters, and or bullpen have kept you in the game, and your offense has produced bupkis. I mean, they've been brutal with runners in scoring position. It's just not been good, which, again, puts a lot of pressure on the rotation. And the rotation's got a little different pressure on them right now in that they're down an arm in the bullpen because you have 6 starters. So they're already feeling that. If your starter doesn't go deep, then you're getting into a shorthanded bullpen who not only are they shorthanded by one arm, you're also absent Matt Brash, a leverage guy. He's not there. So there's a lot on the shoulders of these guys right now to go out there and not only just keep them in the game, but go out there and be dominant in some cases because you just don't have the luxury of a fully stocked bullpen and all your leverage arms are not available. So, yeah, it's I don't know. Is it reasonable to expect them to carry the team through the remaining 62 games? I mean, to this point, knock on wood, they've been reasonably healthy. We didn't last year. Everybody took turns getting hurt. This year, you've had a couple bumps in the road here and there, but for the most part, guys have been available. I know Bryce certainly got a late start to the season. He was like Kirby the year before, started the year on the injured list, but they've been healthy, and it really feels like they're all starting to dial it in. Hopefully, Wu can get that going on the road because he's brilliant at home, but. I don't know. It feels like you're asking a ton from this rotation with the offense being as flat as they are. There's no slack. They can ill afford a bad night.
Yeah. Well, and, I was listening to one of the ESPN analysts. I can't remember but who it was, but he was saying, that the pitchers still care about wins. I mean, I know we don't measure them that way, but, when it comes to contract and time, then that they still care about that. And, and that's, I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're a really good pitcher and, you're able to dial in, you don't care about the pressure of not having an offense to support you. But that's gotta creep into their minds every once in a while.
Maybe you try to be a little too fine, a little too perfect.
Exactly. Too pitcherish.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, if you're how is that not in your subconscious if you're a starter, whether you're actively thinking about it or it's just in the back of your mind that, I want to get these guys to chase. So I'm gonna bounce a couple up there. Can I afford to walk a guy? And if I leave one over the middle of the plate and he takes it out, all of a sudden we're down 2-0. I don't know if my offense is going to be able to come back from that. So maybe there are chances you would otherwise take with a representative offense that you don't take with this offense.
Right.
That to me is a very realistic, thing that could be going on subconsciously where you're just not as confident in the idea that I can get away with taking some risks here. I'm gonna go outside the zone a bit more and see if I can induce more chase, or I'm gonna challenge this guy with a fastball. And if it leaves the yard, I know my offense has got my back. Right. You don't know that with this team. No. You absolutely do not know that. So yeah, and I just like you said, I think it's just human nature, right? And so that part of it, and it's probably different, pitcher to pitcher, but. Some guys are so dialed in. Maybe they're not even looking at the score. I don't know how you couldn't, but it's just that's the frustrating thing that maybe they could be even better with that sort of psychological advantage of knowing that okay, my guys will pick me up. Yeah, I mean, and I know we're up against the clock here, but it's like the defense you played in the 2-14 year.
Yeah,
you had to know in the back of your mind, man, if we give up 10 points or 2 touchdowns, we're probably not going to win.
Yeah,
you knew whether you verbalized it or not, but you had to know if we don't hold this team to under 14 points, we're not going to win the game.
It wasn't usually until film. Then we saw we held the Raiders to 185 yards, which 300 is good, and we lost 23-3.
Yeah.
So because our offense turned the ball over. So yeah, I mean that I think that is a very real thing. It's obviously different pitcher to pitcher, but. It sure would be nice to know that, hey, I might have a little cushion out here.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the Mariners' 50 season celebration weekend begins August 7th, and we want to send you and a friend to be part of the celebration. You're going to get a chance to watch batting practice before the gates open. Then you're going to stick around for the game and the Alumni Home Run Derby with Ichiro and Cameron and Ryan Rowland-Smith. To enter, all you need to do is open the Seattle Sports app. If you don't have the app, just text the word app, APP, to 866-979-3776. We'll send you a link to download it. It's completely free, and you can enter every day to increase your chances to win. The contest runs through Monday, July 27th. Meanwhile, Logan Gilbert did something yesterday that hadn't been done in baseball in over 2 years. We'll hear about that when we sweep the dial. Coming up with Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710.
Seattle Sports, home of Bumpin' Stacy, weekdays 10 to 2.
There hasn't been a new owner for this team since 1997.
I'm looking up, I'm reading about them because I didn't know anything about the family, honestly. It was interesting. A tech family, very smart. But the second thing I thought about was, can you just be an owner? Just be an owner. Don't mess with anything that's going on because Mike and John have created something special over there.
Watch live or later on the Seattle Sports YouTube channel.
In January, a Portland teenager at Goodwill stumbled upon a 1972 playoff warm-up jacket worn by Wilt Chamberlain. He bought it for $3. I can only imagine how that person who used to own that is feeling now. And now you may not be sitting on a warm-up jacket worn by Wilt the Stilt, but there's serious value to the gold, jewelry, watches, silver, and coins you have at home or in storage. Dave Wyman encouraging you to see what they're worth at Bellevue Rare Coins. They'll give you an honest, no-pressure assessment, allowing you to make a decision on whether to sell and how much to sell for. Bellevue Rare Coins is a trusted local business serving Washington since 1979, and they've expanded to 4 locations in Bellevue, Issaquah, Tacoma, and Linwood. Gold and silver reached all-time highs earlier this year, and there's no guarantee they'll stay this high. So cash in now, and at the very least, just see how much your stuff is worth. Go to BellevueRareCoins.com.
Washington drivers share the road with thousands of semi-trucks, but new reporting and federal investigations have unveiled that as many as 1 in 5 of those trucks are operated by chameleon carriers, trucking companies that rack up crashes and safety violations only to close and reopen under a new name with a clean record. If you've been injured in a trucking accident, time may be running out to recover. Call Davis Law Group today at 206-888-8888 or visit DavisLawGroupSeattle.com.
Grill math is simple. More people to feed means more food and supplies and more reasons to save big. Get more out of summer at Chef Store with warehouse savings for your restaurant, food truck, or barbecue. Open to the public, no membership required. Visit Chef Store today.
Your neighbors at Three Tree Roofing love telling you no. No high-pressure sales pitches. No Band-Aid fixes that will fail come wintertime. No outrageous pricing from some corporate-owned roofing company with headquarters thousands of miles from here. Three Tree Roofing is local, family-owned, and their team will build you a worry-free plan for your roof replacement, completely free. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free estimate and call today to say yes to an additional $500 discount. That's 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Ready to relax, unwind, and feel your best? The Spa Warehouse Summer Savings Expo is on now. Enjoy big savings on in-stock hot tubs and swim spas. Hot tubs start as low as $3,999 with savings up to $3,000 on select models. Score incredible deals on in-stock swim spas. Save up to $7,700. Plus, interest-free financing through 2028 on approved credit. The expo ends July 31st. Don't delay. Your best life starts at the Spa Warehouse.
At Farmers, our honesty is contagious.
Wait, am I going to catch honesty?
Well, when you're with Farmers, it's kind of inevitable.
Well, how long does it take to... I lied to you when you asked if I knew what a deductible was. I don't know my dad's birthday, and I thought umbrella policies were for rainstorms. Actual rainstorms. I have it, don't I?
You don't just have honesty.
You have Farmers. Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum.
Learn more at farmers.com. Underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or Affiliate. Products not available in every state.
Sales will sell the first car, but service sells the second and the third and the fourth car. And that's really the long-term vision.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
The countdown is on.
Just 5 days
Until Seahawks training camp on the home of the Super Bowl champion Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Imagine Wi-Fi so intelligent it can actually fix itself. That means when there's a problem, it doesn't slow you down. It keeps your streaming smooth, your gaming lag-free, and your work from home right on track. Well, this is Wi-Fi built for the way you live, powered by a fiber network with 99.999% reliability, delivering incredible speed and strong, consistent coverage in every corner of your home, even those hard-to-reach spots. And it's just not fast, it's secure. Think of it as a security blanket for your entire network, keeping everything connected and working together seamlessly. And here's the best part. You can lock in 5 full years of predictable pricing. No contracts, no surprises, just one simple plan that includes everything: data, equipment, and the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi. Plus, you can get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi installation. Comcast. Imagine that. Restrictions do apply. Select plans only, but make the call today to 1-800-XFI-NI-TY.
This summer, there are 250 reasons to join T-Mobile.
Girls trip? Booked. And switching to T-Mobile helped make it happen.
With Experience Beyond, switch and get $100 back. Plus, $650 in value in built-in plan benefits. That's $750 in your first year, guaranteed.
And honestly, that $100 back, I'm putting it towards the zip line.
Now that's how you do summer.
Exactly. Best switch I ever made.
This is just one reason to join T-Mobile this summer. There are 250 reasons. Find yours.
Savings based on the value of benefits included with Experience Beyond, like entertainment and 1 year of AAA Classic and Dash Pass on us. Benefits may require activation. See plan for details. Get $100 via virtual prepaid MasterCard with eligible ported, no cash access, and expires in 6 months. Issued by Sunrise Banks, N.A. member FDIC. Allow 8 weeks.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Scanning the airwaves for the most interesting and entertaining stories of the day. Sweeping the dial. Every afternoon at 4:45 with Wyman and Bob.
Presented by Silver Reef Casino Resort.
Okay, so it had been over 2 years since Luis Arraez struck out twice in a game, July 3rd, 2024, until Logan Gilbert did it yesterday, and then he was asked about it after the game.
Yeah, he's a good player. Obviously, I didn't know for 2 years. Bryce told me when I came out he hasn't struck out twice this season. I didn't know it was for 2 years. I think the splitter for me is a good option just because he's so good with 2 strikes that you have to throw something unpredictable. And then we saw the next at bat with the slider. Like, he can just put the bat on the ball with anything with predictable movement, fastball, slider, anything else. So I think it's racing to 2 strikes, but really he's a rare hitter where that's kind of the easier part, and the hard part's with 2 strikes because he's so good with 2 strikes. So just trying to execute a pitch, but man, that's a crazy stat.
Yeah, and I don't think he's ever struck out 3 times in his entire career. 3 times in a game.
Yeah.
In his entire career.
That guy is an animal. I mean, he's unbelievable.
That good on Logan getting him twice. 2 of his 10 strikeouts he was responsible for.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, guys been getting it done like that for a few years, right? I mean, going back to, was he in Miami? I think.
Yeah.
Arraez, and then he was with the Padres. But yeah, I mean, that is a phenomenal stat. But yeah, I love that Logan. You could tell he was totally studied up on him and attacked him with the splitter.
Sweeping the dial.
This is quite an adventure over the weekend. So first on Saturday, Giants running back Cam Scadaboo attempted a backflip. He stumbled, didn't look good on a surgically repaired leg, and then he had to address it, and he didn't address it the right way. Or some people didn't feel like he was contrite enough in addressing it on Sunday.
I'm going to address the elephant. I will not hurt myself before the season. Something to do with the fact.
Hey, when I looked at it though, I was like, that's the most explosive I've seen Scott. He over-rotated. He did. He said the floor was a little bouncy.
Yeah, so what happened was, I don't know if you guys know WWE or not. Those floors are bouncy. So when I took off, I was midair, like, holy cow, I'm not gonna land this. I'm way too high. Landed, but it had too much cushion. It wasn't a stiff, firm ground. So I kind of like went back, safely landed, got back up, was good to go. So nothing came out from that. I'm perfectly fine. Nothing happened. We're good.
Let's address the elephant. This guy is a
said
stump.
So many stupid things.
He's a dope. And coming off a surgically repaired knee, he's going to be out there doing backflips.
Wasn't it his ankle?
It was his
Not
knee.
to be nitpicky.
I think it was his knee.
Well, I saw a picture of him, and I don't know if the knee was involved, but like his foot was pointing the wrong way entirely, and I think it might have broke the skin, his bone, but just phenomenally stupid thing to do.
Either whether knee, ankle, I don't care if it's his arm, finger, whatever.
You shouldn't be doing backflips,
kept you out of
bro.
It ended your season, bro. Come on, address the elephant. And then I'd read a different quote from him saying, I'm not going to change who I am, and that's who I am. I'm going to continue to do that. I'm thinking, man, if I'm the head coach, if I'm the GM, I'm pulling him aside going, you're just trying to get some attention, right? You're pandering to the crowd because, no, you're not going to do that.
Yeah.
Not on this team, you're not.
Yeah, I was just talking to somebody about how we had a lineman in Denver that went and did like a celebrity ski thing and blew his knee out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were like, no skiing, no basketball. They don't want you playing anything.
Yeah.
But for that, I mean, he's doing some stunt, and you just had to repair your leg. I mean, that's the dumbest thing ever. But you know what? It falls into sort of the pattern of what I've heard from him so far. he's not a very smart guy.
Yeah, he seems a little dim. And you're right, it was his ankle. It says severe right ankle injury, open tibia fracture, and dislocated ankle sustained in week 8.
Yeah, so like his leg was pointing the wrong way.
Yeah.
It broke through the skin. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons why you wouldn't do a backflip there.
Jeez.
Sweeping the dial.
We had some golf drama over the weekend. During the second round of the British Open, Bryson DeChambeau was assessed a 2-shot penalty because he was trampling the rough fescue around his shot. And then he made a big show of it afterwards. He was protesting for hours. It held up, I guess, the tee times to the third round. So all the other golfers were mad, including Rory McIlroy, who basically just was like, yeah, I don't like this guy.
Yeah, I won't pretend to be up here and defend Bryson. I'm not particularly fond of him. I think a lot of it's performative. I think a lot of it's for attention. And to hold the tournament hostage like that and have all of us, volunteers, players, everyone waiting on him to depart, I didn't feel like it was a great look.
He's not wrong. He's not a popular guy on tour. He's a known whiner. And then apparently in this one, and I've read like 3 different stories this morning that they said was verified, he was threatening to call the president to get involved. Like, are you actually said that publicly? You actually said that to somebody? I'm going to call Trump? You should be embarrassed beyond belief the next morning if that came out of your mouth. That I'm going to get a political figure involved in my tantrum here about a 2-shot penalty, and he's holding up the whole tournament. That's akin to, do you know who I am? Like, it's so cringe and so pathetic. It just, ugh.
Yeah, I think he, I don't know. I like to think he's doing it on purpose because there's a number of golfers that don't like him, and he's trying to get some attention and bring some drama to it. I saw enough drama after the World Cup final that I don't need to see more drama again. Yeah, there was like some little fighting thing going on, and these guys that were from the other team, it was Argentina and Spain, and it was like, I didn't say anything about you. You thought I said something about you? And I mean, it was just like so, like you said, cringy, just terrible. So yeah, now all of a sudden that's getting involved in golf, and that's not a good look.
Not good at all. All right, he's returned from Europe just in time to come on the show. Brady Henderson will join us next, talk some Seahawks. That's coming up with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Seattle Sports, home of Brock and Salk, morning 6 to 10.
What are the priorities in the second half? Number one for me, you got to clean it up. Start playing cleaner baseball.
Include Naylor in that. I'm going to have a lot more emphasis on him because he was a major straw that stirred the drink in their run in August and September last year.
That's fine. You can focus on Naylor all you want. I'll still be focused on, Cal, the guy who hit 60 home runs and had the greatest season ever for a catcher last year.
Watch live or later on the Seattle Sports YouTube channel.
Hey, what if I told you a local credit union is giving members up to $30 per month off just to make everyday purchases? It's Dave Wyman here, and when I heard about the offer from Harborstone Credit Union, I said, sign me up, and that's what I did at harborstone.com/cash. I'm not a tech-savvy guy, but opening a checking account was easy enough for me to figure out, and I got my PNW Cashback checking account for free. No fees or minimums, and when I make everyday purchases with my Harborstone PNW Cashback debit card, I earn up to $30 each month, and that's important to hard-working families. And my wife, she loves it when I get cash back on gas, groceries, coffee, travel, lunch. All categories count toward your cash back. And you can even tap to pay. And if you live, work, or worship in the state of Washington, sign up for a membership with Harborstone Credit Union and get the PNW Cashback free checking account. Open your free account online just like I did at harborstone.com/cash or visit one of their 29 branches across the Northwest. Insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just one dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-330-8323 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-330-8323. That's 800-330-8323. What do you have to lose? Call 800-330-8323. Again, 800-330-8323.
Did you know that 4,000 women are diagnosed with breast cancer every year in Washington state? I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda with Northwest Hope and Healing. We provide financial support for breast and gynecologic cancer patients in our community. Join us at Life in Color, a summer brunch, auction, and fashion show on August 23rd at the Somme Hotel in Woodinville for an unforgettable afternoon of inspiration. Get your tickets now for Life in Color on August 23rd at nwhopeandhealing.org. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
Just 5 days
until training camp for the Super Bowl champs. And nobody has it covered like the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Less than 4 in 10 kids aged 6 through 12 are playing sports regularly. 4 in 10 kids? Let it sink in. Just 4 in 10 kids. ESPN is building a nationwide coalition powered by Disney called Take Back Sports, with the purpose of training more coaches, expanding access, and creating community-driven sports programming that puts kids and fun first. We're working on that story. We hope you'll join us.
Visit takebacksports.org to learn more.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
How would you like to invest in the Seattle real estate market, one of the hottest and most stable regions in the country, and achieve a great rate of return on your investment without the effort of sourcing a deal, the expense and time of building permits, or all the hassles that come with being a landlord? Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Invest in the stability and ease of Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund. Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Well, we're a week away from being out there at training camp. We'll be broadcasting live next Monday from the Virginia Mason Athletic Center, and a guy who will be there, certainly front and center, keeping an eye on things on the field, does a great job covering the Seahawks for ESPN.com, is with us now. Brady Henderson is here. How are you, man?
Bob, what's up, man? Doing great. How are you guys?
We're good. We're good. You just got back into the country, huh? Where'd you go?
Yeah, I got back a couple days ago. I was in Europe. I started in Stockholm and just did a few days sightseeing there, and then I went to the east coast of England to play some golf, to continue my quest to play all 14 venues as opposed to the Open Championship. So I played 3 more while I was there, and had a great time.
Wow. How'd you play? Did you play well?
I played probably about as well as I could. Well, not quite. I played well under the circumstances, these are tough, championship level courses, and the wind is just howling. Like we're talking blow the hat off your head and make you look like an idiot while running after it down the fairway. It was always kind of windy, but there's a couple days where it was that windy.
Oh, wow.
So all things considered, I played well, and it was, really, really good time.
How was the food?
Certainly England has a reputation, or the UK has a reputation for not having great food, which I understand to a degree. I mean, you can find good food. I never had a bad meal there. You just kind of got to know what to order and I guess what to stay away from.
Okay.
So Brady, you sent out a tweet today that I think a lot of people were like, "Whoa, what happened there?" And you were talking about some of the people on the PUP list, the most important or notable being Nick Eamon-Warry. What have we learned anything else? At this point there was no word on what it was he was dealing with. Have you heard any? Are there any updates on that?
Yeah, I'm still gathering information on that, but the sense I have gotten so far in my reporting is that sounds like he's gonna miss some time during training camp, but it doesn't sound like this is something that's going to threaten his availability for the start of the regular season. I don't know that for sure. That's just kind of the impression that I got in my initial reporting. In terms of what it is, I will say this. I think it's notable that he was placed on PUP as opposed to NFI, and NFI is the non-football injury list. So when a guy, gets hurt while he's working out on his own, let's say, during that break between end of minicamp and the start of training camp, if you get hurt on your own, you get placed on NFI. So the fact that he was not placed on NFI, that leads me to believe that this was some sort of pre-existing thing that he was dealing with. And we all know he was dealing with, or he did have to play through an ankle injury in the Super Bowl, that low right ankle sprain that he suffered 4 days before the game. Remember, it was that same ankle, I think different injury. I think that was a high ankle sprain that he suffered in the season opener. So two different sprains of his right ankle. And I'm not quite in position to report exactly what it is, but I will say that it would not surprise me if this is related to his ankle.
Hey, Brady, as camp approaches here, we've been kind of coming up with storylines. One of them being, we just talked today about Jalen Milroe, and it kind of interesting about where he's at. And Bob and I were looking at him out at OTAs. He seems to throw a nice ball, but just maybe accuracy problems. But then just his development. Is that going to be one of the stories, you think? I think because it's quarterback position, it's always high drama. But that one was kind of an interesting one. I don't think it's super important. But what was your takeaway from OTAs as Jalen Milroe is, since we bring him up?
Yeah, there was one play where I think he kept the ball and ran with it, and it was just a reminder of how, what the Seahawks saw in him to think that, they could draft him and use him in that kind of role to take advantage of his legs while he develops as a passer. And obviously that didn't really happen last year. They seemed like they sort of abandoned that early on after he had those fumbling issues. So I think it remains to be seen whether or not they're going to give that another shot. I wouldn't count on it because, it's one thing to do that, to give it a shot when you had a coordinator in Clint Kubiak who had sort of been down that road before. He had kind of done that and built those kind of gadget-type plays into his offense in New Orleans with Taysom Hill. The current coordinator doesn't really necessarily have a history of that. He's never been a play caller, so he's never been a coordinator. So there isn't necessarily that history of it. So I don't know if they're necessarily going to go into this, thinking that they have to do that. I think an ideal scenario would be that Jalen Milroe overtakes a Drew Lock and shows that he can be the number 2, and that would certainly alleviate kind of the roster crunch. It's tough to carry 3 quarterbacks on your 53-man roster, knowing that, one of those guys, like Milroe, after the first, month of the season, he was inactive every week, and he only suited up as the emergency quarterback, which meant he could only come in emergency situations. So they really couldn't take advantage of, they really couldn't use him unless it was an emergency. And it's tough, carrying a third quarterback on your 53-man roster who's not going to play. That means you're burning that roster spot on somebody who could, you're not using it on somebody else who could play. So I think an ideal scenario would be Milroe overtaking Locke for the number 2 job, but I didn't see any evidence last season that was, that it was on the verge of happening. Now, maybe he's made significant strides over the offseason, but it looked like just as a passer, we all know the legs, we all know, we also hear a lot about the work ethic and how diligent of a worker he is, but it just looked like, from an accuracy standpoint and also holding on to the football, I don't know if he's on the verge of overtaking Drew Lock anytime soon.
Hey, another guy that you listed as being on the PUP list is a guy that has become a favorite of Dave and I, and that's Kenny McIntosh. And not because I think he's going to be a superstar or anything. He just seemed like a guy anytime he got a shot, there was a little fire, a little electricity to him, and he just hasn't ever been able to get on the field even when he was healthy. It just opportunity never presented itself for him. And now he's on the PUP list. I assume, obviously, this has to do with the injury he suffered last year. But is he a guy that you think is really going to have to show something or just to make the roster? Or what does the future look like for him, in your opinion?
Well, the fact that they put him on PUP right now, I think that tells me that, maybe they aren't counting on him, being available for the start of the season. Or maybe they sort of know that, there already is going to be a roster crunch, and maybe he's the guy that they sort of stash on PUP, for the first month or so of the season. I was surprised the other day looking up. I forget that he was a 7th-round pick in 2023. He's been around for 3 seasons. It just doesn't seem like it's been that long because we've hardly seen him on the field just because of the various injuries that he's dealt with, including that torn ACL he suffered. I think it was the first week of practice last training camp. And so, they've got obviously some question marks in their backfield, and he would bring that kind of explosive element that there still is a question mark of whether or not they have that, without Ken Walker. But I think the injury history is such, and the fact that he's on PUP right now, it doesn't sound like they're necessarily counting on him, at least not right away.
Hey, Brady, which rookies do you think will have a big impact? It's kind of a prediction, I guess, because we don't really know. But I don't know. It seems like it's reasonable to expect the top 3 picks to have to be able to contribute almost right away. But what are your expectations?
Yeah, that's where I would start right there. Is just down the list 1, 2, 3: Jadarian Price, Bud Clark, Julian Neal. We all know what's in store for, Jadarian Price. I think he just slides into that Ken Walker, the third role. And, I don't think they're going to, he's going to be their bell cow, so to speak, right away, just like Walker was not. If you go back, Walker was averaging, I can't remember what the number was, but, we're talking, 14, 15 carries a game for most of the season until Charbonnet went down in the playoffs. And so I think he slides into that role as just a piece of the backfield, not necessarily the clear-cut number 1 guy. Bud Clark and Julian Neal, we'll see. They're going to be competing for starting jobs. And, we're considering number 3 cornerback a starter because it basically is in today's NFL, even though you're maybe not necessarily playing 100% of the snaps. I think that Ty Okada played so well as a fill-in last season that he deserves, and I imagine he will get every chance to compete for that job. So I would not necessarily assume that Bud Clark is going to win a starting job, but just with his talent and the ball hawking and the playmaking, I think that's going to be a real good battle. And the same at number 3. I don't think they're going to hand Julian Neal anything. They paid Noah Igbenogany, didn't give him a big contract, but they gave him enough guaranteed to where pretty sure he's going to be on the roster And, this is a guy who, even though he has not lived up to the first round billing, maybe, he has been a quality player who has started quite a few games, and he's got, a good bit of experience both outside on the perimeter and in the slot. So those are going to be two battles right there. And then, Bo Stevens, their 5th round pick, I have said this before, and I still kind of think this is the case, that Anthony Bradford is the favorite to hang on to that job. But certainly they had to draft somebody who would at least push Anthony Bradford for that starting job. And, Bo Stevens is that guy. So I think eventually he's going to be their starting right guard, even if it's not this season, as Anthony Bradford enters the last year of his rookie contract.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about this being a prove-it year for Bradford, whether it's proving it to the Seahawks or his next team. He's got to have a great year if he wants to cash in, obviously. But, just in talking about him having to prove that in his final year, one guy we hadn't mentioned, and he doesn't have anything to prove, but it's his final year, Leonard Williams. That just kind of totally slipped under the radar for us. Just, whoa, he's in the final year of his deal. Now he's an older player. He's 32 years old. So in football years, yeah, that's certainly an elderly guy, if you will. But there doesn't seem to be any drop off in his play. He seems hugely important to this defense. So what do you see happening? You're hearing any rumblings about an extension, or how do you see this playing out for Leonard Williams?
I'm going to be totally honest with you, Bob. I do not have a great feel for that one, and whether or not they're looking to extend him. I'm sure you guys saw this, but he was number one in when our man Jeremy Fowler, he does the list every year where he pulls, solicits votes from executives and scouts and coaches throughout the NFL, and they voted Leonard Williams the number one interior defensive lineman in the NFL. And look, we all know how this works. His agents are going to look at that, and they're going to use that or try to use that to their advantage when it comes time to negotiate. So that tells me that if the Seahawks want to, if they were interested in extending Leonard Williams this offseason, it's going to be very, very expensive. And to your point, he is sort of at that age to where maybe you wonder if they would prefer to go year to year. I don't have a great feel for that. I'm trying to track that down, but I think it's safe to say that the Seahawks wanted to extend Leonard Williams right now. They would have to make him one of the, if not the highest paid defensive tackles in the NFL. And I just don't know, assuming they get the Witherspoon deal done, they will have made Jackson Smith-Njigba the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL. I'm assuming if the Witherspoon deal gets done, he's going to be the highest paid cornerback in the NFL. And you start to wonder about, teams, as a point I've made before, teams only have so much cash to spend in one off season. When you talk about two top of the market deals getting done, I would wonder if there is enough cash left over to do a third.
Hey Brady, what kind of how are you feeling about Brian Fleury? I mean, it's 3 offensive coordinators in as many years, and just because it went smoothly last year doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be smooth this year. And we talked to Matt Hasselbeck, and he's like, it's not like losing Clint Kubiak wasn't a big deal. It's kind of a big deal, but I don't know. I haven't heard many critics or people talking about, hey, this is 3 offensive coordinators in as many years, and that's gonna take its toll or whatever. It just seems like everybody's assuming that that's gonna go like it did last year, but I guess I would say not so fast. I'm not so sure about that one.
I would say not so fast. I would be pumping those brakes right along there with you, Dave Wyman, because that is. I think there's a case to be made that losing Clint Kubiak was a bigger loss than any of the top 4 guys that they lost in free agency, including Ken Walker III. I think there's a case to be made just because Clint Kubiak was really good at his job and he was an experienced coordinator. And, I remember talking to Brock Hewart about this at some point earlier this offseason, and he made the point that you really cannot think of too many times that just operationally they were not sound offensively, at least in terms of the coordinator being indecisive and not getting the play call in on time and that screwing up the whole operation. And that's probably speaks to the fact that Kubiak had done that. That was not his first go-around. It was, I think, his, 3rd. And there is just no substitute for experience, I think, when it comes to play calling. And so, it would not surprise anybody if, as bright of a guy as Brian Fleury seems like he is, and Brock has made the point that he really won Mike McDonald over in that interview with the job he did on the whiteboard. And I've reported this before. I mean, McDonald was, when he started that search, he was of the mind that he was likely going to promote from within, but Brian Fleury impressed him so much that he changed directions there and went with an outside hire instead. But as many boxes as Brian Fleury checks, and as bright as he is, and as good of a pedigree as he has, and coming in that from that Shanahan system, it would not surprise anybody if there are some growing pains when you talk about a guy calling plays and coordinating an offense for the first time.
Hey, Brady, back to Witherspoon for a moment. Two things. A, you brought up his deal if they get that done. What's your sense of how close they are? Do you expect it to happen in this offseason? And B, how do you expect that he'll be used next year? Because, Reek Woolen moves on to Philadelphia. Dave's talked a lot about he feels like it would almost be a waste to put him on the outside because of how impactful he can be when he's on the inside. He can rush the passer. You can use him in all these different ways. But do you just assume he's going to be the other guy opposite Job on one side, or maybe Julian Neal could be that guy and he can still play inside and all over? How do you see him being used? And then contract-wise, do you feel like that's close and it may get done this offseason, or what's your feeling there?
Yeah, we'll just start with the on-field stuff. I mean, I would imagine that a lot of that has to do with, what is your, who's your number three and how ready is he? Because I mentioned Igbenogany has played quite a bit inside. So I think it depends on just the sort of what's going on around them. But, if you remember the Super Bowl, they sent him after the quarterback a lot more than they had earlier in that season. And look, I'm sure Mike McDonald knew as well as anybody what Devin Witherspoon was capable of as a blitzer from the inside, but maybe how much he impacted that game. Maybe that's a sort of reminder to Mike McDonald that, hey, this guy is pretty dangerous when he's inside. And so maybe they do end up using him more in that role next season. But I do think it would probably depend to some degree on who's your number three and what is he good at. In terms of the contract, it's just a really interesting situation because, as I've mentioned, when they got the JSN deal done in, late March, they immediately turned their attention to an extension for Witherspoon, and they made their initial offer, not long after that. So we're talking about, I can't do math on the fly, but this is 5-6 months, whatever it is, and they haven't got a deal done. That's an abnormal amount of time. I don't know that it is necessarily a matter of the two sides being far apart on a price, because my sense is that the Seahawks have been prepared to make him the highest paid cornerback in the NFL. That distinction obviously belongs to Trent McDuffie of the Rams. I think it's $31 million in new money per season. My guess is that I don't think anybody with the Seahawks would argue that Witherspoon is not a better player than McDuffie and that he's not, worth just something slightly above that. I don't know if it's about money so much as I just think, you've got to have both sides being willing to engage. And I'm not sure. I wonder if this is dragged on because Witherspoon's side has not been as willing to play ball as the Seahawks have. Now the question becomes, why is that? Well, a couple ideas. One is that the agent who represents Devin Witherspoon also represents Christian Gonzalez of the Patriots. And that's going to be a similarly, top of the market deal. And maybe he's waiting to get that done before he gets the Witherspoon deal done. To get a little more conspiratorial, I would remind you that Hard Knocks is coming to Seattle. And look, it would not surprise me if this situation drags on just long enough for the Hard Knocks cameras to document it and to show the entire, NFL viewing public who exactly made Devin Witherspoon the highest paid cornerback in the NFL. But the bottom line, I think this deal is going to get done, and I think he's going to be the highest paid guy in the NFL. It's just a matter of, how long into training camp and whether Christian Gonzalez's deal gets done first.
Hey, Brady, who do you think that they'll sort of focus in on? I think that's a game that a lot of people have played. Is it going to be Mike McDonald? I'm talking about Hard Knocks. Is it going to be a guy like Devin Witherspoon, maybe Bud Clark? We've talked about Sam Darnold and Ernest Jones and their relationship. What do you think?
I think all of the above. Yeah, I mean, I think even after Witherspoon's contract, assuming that gets done, I think he's still going to be a focal point of Hard Knocks, just because he is such a lively, energetic guy. And if you are out there, which I know you guys have heard this before, but for the listeners out there who haven't been to a training camp practice, you can hear Devin Witherspoon even when the music is playing, because he is just constantly, the volume is turned up and he's talking smack and he's hooting and hollering. So he's just a guy who I think is, and it's not an act, it's just who he is. And I think so the cameras are naturally going to find him. I think Darnold, and not just because he's a quarterback, I think Darnold is sneaky funny, and you don't always hear it because he tends to be pretty buttoned up in press conference settings. But there is a kind of a fun, dry sense of humor that I think that's going to come out when it's the camera is sort of off to the side and not necessarily right in front of him. I think that's when you're going to get him, and you're going to see some fun interplay between him and the other quarterbacks.
Brady, as always, great stuff, man. Welcome back. We appreciate the time, and we'll see you out there at training camp.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks, Brady.
There you go. There's Brady Henderson of ESPN.com. If you guys missed any part of that conversation, you'll be able to find it on the podcast page after the show. Just go to seattlesports.com, click the podcast tab, scroll down to our picture, click on that, and it's right there waiting for you, as it is each and every night after the show. And don't forget, click subscribe, totally free, and then it just shows up for you. Don't ever have to worry about remembering. Meanwhile, we're starting to hear one name pop up when it comes to a potential trade candidate for the Mariners. We'll get into that coming up next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Jeff Passan every Tuesday morning at 8:30 with Brock and Salk.
Brought to you by your Western Washington Toyota dealers.
What can be the elixir to begin the second half for Cal Raleigh?
Just getting back to the basics. In his case, let's get the ball and play a little bit more. And a lot of this is swinging at pitches that he shouldn't be swinging at. Cal Raleigh will fix himself. I absolutely, firmly believe that.
Get more on the Seattle Sports YouTube page and the Seattle Sports app.
In 2026, Bay Alarm celebrates 80 years of security. For the Puget Sound, that means local service including burglar and fire alarm systems, 24/7 in-house monitoring, and custom security designed to work with business operations. Bay Alarm has real people rooted in your community looking out for your business. After 8 decades and 3 generations of family ownership, our promise is still the same. We got you. Learn more at bayalarm.com.
Longer days, warmer weather, and a stronger you all start at Top Fitness. Hey, Brock Hewitt here, and right now, check out the Top Fitness Big Sale in all 3 of their stores. Every category is on sale. Home gyms, weight plates, dumbbells, treadmills, and stair climbers like I've got. Great deals on display models, too. Have a home gym that needs some help? Get your rubber flooring and all the accessories you need. Get into Top Fitness with locations in Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue, or visit topfitness.com for more info. That's Top Fitness, your best place for home fitness equipment.
Hey, when was the last time you inspected your crawl space or your attic? What's the last time you went in there just to see what kind of shape they're in? Oh, never? Yeah, same. I don't want to go in there. Most homeowners completely avoid those areas, but it is important to check on them regularly. It's why you call Crawl Pros. They'll come out and go where you don't want to. Hey, it's Mike Salk here. And yes, when Crawl Pros came out to my place, they realized we had a little problem with our insulation. So they've set about fixing it, and they did a great job. But if you've got the same problem, they'll also look to see what kind of energy rebates are available. Right now, local utility companies are incentivizing homeowners to make their home more energy efficient with proper insulation. And some homes qualify for several $1,000s in savings with these utility rebate programs. So don't just assume your crawl space and attic are in great condition. Do what I did. Call Crawl Pros today and schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection and find out if you've got water intrusion, mold, rodent issues, or even damaged insulation. Schedule your crawl space and attic inspection at crawlpros.com.
Les Schwab Tires has always believed that taking care of people is the right thing to do. Today, that means more than trusted service. It means delivering real value, too. That's why we're lowering prices on hundreds of tires without changing the service and expertise you've always counted on. Consumer Reports named Les Schwab the best tire retailer for 2026. We'll keep working every day to earn your trust. See leschwab.com for details.
Start having fun.
Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit MuckleshootCasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-822-1490. That's 800-822-1490. 800-822-1490.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners getting back to it tonight as they welcome the Cincinnati Reds and Gino Suarez to town. Game 1 of the 3-game series coming your way tonight. The Mariners are going to send George Kirby to the hill. He faces off against Andrew Abbott, who comes in with a 5-5 record and a 4.11 ERA. You can catch it all starting at 5:30 with the pregame show. 6:40 first pitch right here, Seattle Sports on 710. Meanwhile, games going on as we speak. The Twins right now getting it handed to them by the Guardians 8-2. That one in the top of the 5th inning in Cleveland. Phillies shutting out the Dodgers 4-0 in the top of the 3rd. They're in the top of the 3rd, New York, with the Pirates up 5-4 over the Yankees. Headed to the bottom of the 4th in Toronto. The Rays out to a 2-0 lead over the Blue Jays. Red Sox, who have won 13 in a row, are up 3-1 on the Orioles. That one headed to the top of the 4th in Boston. Padres shutting out the Braves 1-0 in the top of the 4th. Top of the 2nd in Milwaukee. Brewers up 2-0 on the Mets. No score between the Royals and Giants in the top of the 2nd. And they are in a weather delay in Chicago. Game between the Cubs and Tigers right now delayed.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Fast Home Services.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Got the Mariners and Reds coming up at the bottom of the hour. We will turn you over to the Mariners pregame show as the Reds come to town. Gino Suarez, I would imagine he'd get a nice ovation from the crowd, right?
What a nice guy. Everybody loved. I'll never forget when he first came here. I was like, what's this guy all about? He had one side of his hair was brown, the other side he dyed blonde, and then And I don't know. I was like, what's going on here?
You're
What
like,
kind of
who
guy
is
is he? I'm just trying to figure him out. That's
You
all.
thought, who does this guy think he is?
Yeah, who does he think he is? That's exactly right. And it turned out he's like, oh, my little girls like it, so I do it. And he would like paint his fingernails for his little girls and paint their fingernails. I'm like, oh, this guy's a sweetheart.
You went, I like him a lot now.
Well, and we talked to him, and he just proved to be like one of the great people that you meet in sports.
Yeah.
And and he was also, just a gem in the clubhouse. Everybody loved him, and so that was really exciting last year getting him back.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's a shame it didn't work out the way you'd hoped. He did come up with some huge moments, certainly in the postseason, but in totality, he didn't have the impact we were hoping for.
Yeah.
When he got here, and it was such a great reunion. I mean, the clubhouse loves him, the fans love him. He's infectious in such a positive way. But, he went back to Cincinnati. He's having a so-so year. He's dealt with injuries. He's not putting up crazy numbers by any stretch. And they're in last place, so hopefully we can treat them as such. I'd like it if he had a great series, bunch of hits, and they lose all 3 games.
There you go.
Yeah. I don't want him hitting home runs. I don't want him, damaging our pitcher's ERA or anything. But if he bunch of singles, I'll give him that. I'm good with that.
He was fun to watch. I mean, I don't know that he was the greatest defender, but he sure had a great arm.
He's got a cannon arm. But, yeah, his range was starting to get a little limited over there. So, yeah, well, it'll be good to see him out there, though. I saw a bunch of people tweeting out pictures of him and Perry Hill in a big embrace and all of that. And Perry said something about, well, I guess I got to get ready for my back adjustment, because I guess he hugs him hard. So, but yeah, I think all the players and coaches love him and excited to see him. So the Reds are in town. Game 1 of that 3-game series coming your way. It will turn you over to the pregame show coming up in just a little bit. But we're 15 days away from the trade deadline, and the Mariner needs are becoming more and more evident that they lie with the offense. It doesn't mean they won't go out there and look for help in the bullpen, which they absolutely should, but they do at least have a sense that help is on the way. Maybe not as soon as they'd like, and maybe that'll prompt them to make a move. But, potentially Vargas, potentially Brash, Criswell. You've got arms that are coming back. You just don't really know when. And especially in the case of Vargas, I don't know what to expect. I mean, I forgot all about the guy, to be honest. Totally forgot about him till we heard his name come up. Like, oh, yeah, geez, what the heck happened to that guy? What's he been up to? And now he's presumably going to be back at some point this season, which he's got a really live arm, but it's just, and he was big last year for this team.
I don't know why I forget this number every time, but in September, it expands by 1 for pitchers.
Yeah.
From 12 to 13, or is it 13?
They're 13 now, but right now
13 to 14.
Yeah, right now you have 6 starters, so you're down a bullpen arm.
Right. So, if they eventually get it back to the five-man rotation, then they'll get a little bit of help there, and they get help when, September comes around. But, and that seems likely. But, we've talked about it the whole show about how, and again, average on-base percentage, slug, OPS, if you look at where they're ranked in Major League Baseball, the Mariners, they average about 28th. 28th out of 30. And so, as far as, I would love it if they went and got some help as far as the bullpen goes. But, you're going to get another guy that you can put on there. And then, maybe they go to the 5-man rotation. But, I mean, I get it. I get it that you always want to try to supplement your bullpen and everything. But, I mean, these numbers offensively. But I still think that they don't need to make some huge move just because they just need their players to start hitting the way they have in the past. And so I don't...
Or at least close.
Yeah, I mean, and like with Cal, it's not even close.
Yeah, he's so far off of what you expect. Certainly far off from... I mean, look, last year was way off of what we expected from him in a good way. Nobody's calling for 60 home runs and him to do what he did last year. I mean, come on. But the idea of him hitting 40, that seemed very reasonable and in the 40s, certainly. And I thought that's what we'd be looking at this year. Like, he's going to come back. That's not reasonable to expect that season to be duplicated. He's going to be, if he hits you 40, that's a tremendous season.
Right.
That's a tremendous season. Now, obviously, he's not going to get there, but yeah, you just need him to look like he's seeing the ball and he's not expanding the zone. He's not chasing that four-seam fastball at the top of the zone that he is just repeatedly offering at. And every pitcher he faces knows that. They're going to throw that until he doesn't bite. And then he's way out in front of the off-speed stuff that's down low and away, and it's just like, man, he's developed this habit that it is obviously making its way around the league because everybody's pitching him the same way. So he's just it's so crucial for him to just improve a bit. You don't have to be last year, but if he improves and then Julio takes that step and Naylor takes that step, I mean, with all those guys being who they've been, which is not great. Julio's been hurt, and he got off to a much better start. But even with the lineup struggling and then them being ranked 28th, 27th in all those categories, they're a half game out of first place. So how much will they separate themselves if they just get marginally better offensively?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and you look at Cal was like upper 30s by now, I want to say, like 38, 39 home runs at this point last year. So, yeah, I mean, we're not asking for that, but, something that, like you said, starts to approach that. So, and then if you get Brendan Donovan back and then you get, Julio more consistent, Naylor a little bit more consistent. I hear in the promos that Brock and Salk are having an argument over, and Brock was like, hey, I want to see Naylor get better. And, Salk's like, you can take Naylor all you want, but it's Cal. So, yeah, but I mean, still, those guys, all of them figure in. They're all fantastic players. So, yeah, I mean, I don't. Yeah, we definitely need offensive help, but I feel like we already have it if they're playing the way that they typically play. So, yeah, it's kind of a weird one, but I felt pretty good about the pitching. I mean, I'd love it if they went and got some help for the bullpen, but because you're down Brash, who's really important, but. Yeah, I don't know. It's maybe just health. Maybe just health, and Cal coming back around because Julio was out for a little while with the concussion, and so I mean those three players right there can combine for a pretty potent offense.
Yeah, and we'll see who's truly available out there and what the Mariners' appetite is in terms of parting with either prospects or one of their starters. I mean, I think. That's where the value is for teams out there looking for help is pitching. Every team needs pitching for the most part, and Mariners have a bunch of pitching. So, that's an easy way out of that six-man rotation piggyback thing they've got going on here, and that's why the prevailing thought is this is going to go until the trade deadline. That that's when they're going to figure it out, whether that means they move somebody or they just make a declaration that all right, here are the five. And this guy's going to the bullpen. But, there was a trade proposal here from Jim Bowden, who will join us at 2:30 tomorrow. He wrote a piece for The Athletic today, and he had a trade idea for the Mariners where they trade George Kirby to the Giants. In exchange, they get Casey Schmidt, he's kind of he's utility. He's an infielder, outfielder, DH guy who's having a breakout year. He's got 19 home runs, hitting 278 this year. He's driven in 50, 307 on base, 488 slug, 795 OPS. He's got a 1.8 WAR. So he's having a breakout year. I mean, last year in 95 games, he had 12 home runs, hit 237. So, yeah, his average, his power, everything's way up this year. He's 27. So him and Eric Miller, who's a left-handed relief pitcher on that team, who's got a 3.18 ERA, this season, been in 33 games. He's got, his whip is 1.45. So, yeah, Eric Miller and Casey Schmidt for George Kirby is his proposal. Would you do it?
I would.
Yeah.
I would do it. Yeah. I mean, and, Luis Castillo probably doesn't get sent to the, to the bullpen if that is the case, but yeah, he looks pretty good. He's pretty young, like you said. So batting average 278 right now, averages 245 in his career.
I'd rather they take Castillo instead, but I don't think that's probably realistic based on salary and age.
Yeah.
But what he wrote, Jim Bowden wrote this piece. And again, he'll be with us tomorrow at 2:30, so we can ask him to get deeper into it, but he said the Mariners would land Schmidt, who's having a breakout season for the Giants and is in the prime of his career at age 27. He crushes left-handed pitching, holds his own against righties, so the Mariners would have to platoon him. Wouldn't have to platoon him, excuse me. Schmidt is also hitting significantly better away from Oracle Park. A true third baseman. He has experience at every position except right field, center field, and catcher. His ability to play all over the diamond increases his value for Seattle. Miller would give the Mariners another left-handed power arm out of the bullpen. The 28-year-old's command can be shaky at times, but he has otherwise been a very effective reliever for the Giants for the past 3 seasons. And then Adam Jude was on with Brock and Salk, and they brought it up to him, asked if Casey Schmidt would, in fact, be an option for the Mariners.
Yeah. No, he's a guy who can move around, too. He can help you at third base. As a right-handed bat, he's had a really nice year for them. Yeah, I think the Giants would probably ask a lot for him because they still think he's got at least a few years of club control. But, yeah, the Mariners have to be open to anything with the sellers just because there aren't very many of them. But, yeah, that's a guy I could see the Mariners taking a long look at. Spencer Steer. I don't see a Taylor Ward being the right fit. First of all, the Mariners and Orioles haven't made a deal in a long, long time, and there's reasons for that. They just don't line up philosophically on player acquisition talent. But and Taylor Ward's an everyday player, too. I just don't know, are the Mariners really going to get rid of all their right fielders and put Taylor Ward out in right field full time? I mean, that's a worthy discussion, but I have a hard time picturing it.
Yeah, so there's his take. I like how he started out with it.
Yeah, I did like that too. Well, and then he plays every position but right field, center, and catcher.
Yeah,
I mean that works. I mean we're okay with Cal. We got Julio, and you seem pretty set at right field. You got 3 pretty good choices there. So yeah, this is kind of interesting. It's one of those though that it's so specific. You're like, okay, that'll never come true, right?
You never know.
I mean, kind of did last year, right? With getting Eugenio Suarez
and Naylor. Yeah. It's hard to tell what their level of urgency is if they're looking at their roster, talking about like Jerry and Justin and upper management looking at the roster going, man, if we can just get Donovan healthy and Cal just the way we've been talking about, if he just gets marginally better and Naylor gets marginally better and Julio just gets marginally better, this is where we're at when they're not that way. We're a half game out.
Yeah.
What do they look like if they get that much better? And Donovan is now part of the equation. Maybe they're not feeling the same urgency. I don't know. I'm just obviously speculating from the outside. I don't know how they view the current team when healthy and producing, at least at a reasonable level. Maybe not matching specifically in Cal's case last year, but just at a reasonable level. How do they view the urgent? What's the level of urgency with the offense for them? So, yeah, I mean, look, I know they're not keeping all the young arms. We've talked about this for years now, that you're not going to sign all 4, Logan and Kirby and Wu and Brash, that somebody's going to go, or not Brash, Logan, Kirby, Miller. The other one. But now that we're talking about it, like, well, would you ship them off? I'm like, I don't really want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to see him go. I know you've got young arms in the system that you expect to be very good, but there's no guarantee that Cade Anderson's going to come up here and dominate. You don't know. I mean,
Ryan Sloan.
Sloan, same thing. I mean, he's got great stuff by all accounts, but he's gotten touched up in Double-A, and we'll see what happens when he comes up here, when they finally get here. But certainly they're not proven commodities. These guys are proven commodities at this level. So I'm reluctant, but I understand that's the reality. You're gonna part with one of these guys, whether it's, hey, we can't sign everybody, so we're gonna have to trade 2 of them. We've been talking about that forever, but now that it becomes a little bit more real, I'm like,
now,
are you sure you don't want Castillo? Are you sure?
You're a little gun shy.
I hesitate, because couldn't you just see Kirby, or even if we're talking about Miller or whoever, Logan, Wu, whichever pitcher moved on, couldn't you see them going somewhere and just shining, they shine here. They've been great here. It's not like we're worried about, well, the guy was terrible here and he goes somewhere else and he turns into a star. I just think they turn into maybe even a bigger star somewhere else. Maybe they are a Cy Young winner. Maybe they are in the Cy Young conversation year in year. I don't know. And Kirby's got that stuff. He's got that kind of stuff, and maybe he finds another level of success. He takes a giant leap forward with another team.
Yeah. Yeah, and Kirby is the guy. I remember talking to Ryan Rowland-Smith. Now, this was a couple of years ago, and I don't know that Ryan, will have to ask him if he still thinks that Kirby is the guy that could get the most, because that's when we talked to Gary Hill last week. He's like, okay, who do you get the most for? And I think he thought it was Logan.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, that's all you really care about. So, yeah, that would be, I don't know. I mean, I guess you just trust the process, right, that Kate Anderson and Ryan Sloan are going to be Bryce Miller and Logan Gilbert at some point.
Yeah. Text coming in, 253 says, we need more difference makers. Otherwise, it's going to be another year of maybe we'll make the World Series someday. Yeah, you feel like you have difference makers on your roster. They're just not making a difference right now. Yeah. Look, by all accounts, it's not us looking at them going, well, we think they're good because they're wearing a Mariners uniform. The league knows they're good. They know Julio is a young star. They know Cal. The entire baseball world knows Cal coming off of last year. They've seen what these guys are capable of and what they can do. Problem is they're just not doing it to the level you need them.
Yeah.
So this team's not devoid of talent. It's not like, hey, you got to go out and get a legit baseball stud. You've got them on this roster. You've got them in this lineup. They're just, for whatever reason. Now that's the deeper question. That's the deeper dive. Is it coaching? Is it the manager? Is it, what are they being told? Does Dan have the respect of the clubhouse? There's all kinds of things behind the scenes we're not privy to that could impact what we're seeing on the field.
Mm-hmm.
So why they're not producing, I don't know. But, look, if Cal were on the market or if Julio were on the market, you'd be talking about other fan bases going, you got to get that guy here. You've seen what he's able to do. He'll come here and he'll crush. There'd be a mad rush for their services. So you have difference makers. They're just unfortunately not making the difference we need them to.
That's right.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
All right.
We're going to. Are we going to what we learned?
No.
I'm sorry. I thought that was.
Are we ready?
I'll go to it if Bob throws.
You guys are rolling. Yeah, I didn't want to break the momentum.
Well, I thought he was going to have something there, but okay, let's go to what we learned.
Sorry.
House of learned doctors.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
What did we learn today?
No one's a bigger idiot than me.
Stupidity is the easiest way out.
So what is it that stood out today in the learning area?
Well, actually, we do have some news here. So J.P. Crawford's been scratched. So before I get to kind of the setup here of the actual joke from what we learned. So Colt Emerson is in the lineup today. He was going to have the day off on his birthday. He's now batting ninth and playing shortstop. Arozarena is leading off, and everyone else just kind of bumped up. So Kennedy eighth, Robles seventh, and up from there.
But, did they say what's going on with JP?
No word yet. Remember, Dan came out.
He was coming out with it. He was squeezing his hand.
Looked at it real quick yesterday. He stayed in, but so he's been scratched. Colt Emerson's in, but what we're going to learn is why Colt Emerson was originally not in the lineup.
So kudos to him. And by the way, it's his birthday today.
Oh, really?
He is now able to go out and buy himself a drink. He's 21 years old today. Colt Emerson.
It's all going to go downhill from here.
You think he's just going to show up just pickled tonight?
Just hammered.
Yeah. Come staggering into the clubhouse.
I think he is going to be a guy that's going to get carded probably for another 5 years.
At least. Yeah. He does not look 21. But, so if you're out at the game, shout a happy birthday to Colt Emerson, who turns 21 years old today. Unbelievable. By the way, the Mariners put out a funny post I showed Dave during the break. It's a picture of they dressed up his locker. They decorated it. He's holding two big balloons, a big 2 and a big 1. They took a picture of him, and in the caption they just wrote, "What's 9 plus 10?" And he's standing there with 21.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty solid work. So, yeah, he gets to play a game on his 21st birthday.
He's pickled. I haven't heard that one in a long time.
An oldie but a goodie. Yeah. What else did we learn?
Well, we learned that we really didn't want to be hanging out with you and Hyphen on Friday.
Doing better than I left you on Friday night, as you and I were both walking to the elevator after the game, after the fireworks show, and it was just, that was kind of the tone of the conversation. It was just, that was a dreadful night. That was maybe the low point of the season as far as performance. Yeah, that was a rough one, man. That might have been the worst feeling I've had after a game this season. Maybe being there in person made it worse. I don't know, but yeah.
Well, there was lots of things. They should have beat them. They're a team that they should beat. And they got whooped.
They weren't even competitive. 2 errors, 2 hits, no runs. It was just dreadful. What else did we learn?
Well, we learned that Cam Scadaboo really knows how to address the obvious problem in the room.
I'm going to address the elephant. I will not hurt myself before the season.
Let's address the elephant. This guy
has said so many stupid things.
He's a dope.
It's too bad. I like his running style, and he's a tough player. He should just
Just not a thinker.
Just zip it.
He's just not a thinker. I'm going to address the elephant. Is there more to that, or are you just going to stop there?
Yeah.
Address it. That sounds like one of the malprops we have here. Somebody would have thrown out here. Jake would have thrown that out or something.
Yeah,
but
thrown somebody under the table.
That's right. Yeah. You can lean your hat on that one. All right. That's going to do it for us. We got Mariners and Reds coming up next. Our thanks to Ryan Rowland-Smith and Brady Henderson. If you guys missed any part of the show, any part of those conversations, you can find them on the podcast page, seattlesports.com. We'll talk to you tomorrow right here with Wyman and Bob.
Seattle Sports, home of Bump and Stacy, weekdays 10 to 2.
There hasn't been a new owner for this team since 1997.
I'm looking up, I'm reading about them because I didn't know anything about the family, honestly. It was interesting. A tech family, very smart. But the second thing I thought about was, can you just be an owner? Just be an owner. Don't mess with anything that's going on because Mike and John have created something special over there.
Watch live or later on the Seattle Sports YouTube channel.
Bigger food needs call for even bigger savings. Get more at Chef Store for your restaurant, food truck, or event with warehouse savings on food service essentials and grilling favorites. Plus, we're open to the public, no membership required. Visit Chef Store today.
This is Rick Jones of Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men. As a family law attorney, I know firsthand the challenges and obstacles men face in divorce and custody matters. Our firm is committed to protecting what matters most, and we're on your team. Find us at goldbergjones.com.
Ready to relax, unwind, and feel your best? The Spa Warehouse Summer Savings Expo is on now. Enjoy big savings on in-stock hot tubs and swim spas. Hot tubs start as low as $3,999 with savings up to $3,000 on select models. Score incredible deals on in-stock swim spas. Save up to $7,700. Plus, interest-free financing through 2028 on approved credit. The expo ends July 31st. Don't delay. Your best life starts at the Spa Warehouse.
When it comes to my policy, Farmers gives it to me straight, so there's no surprises.
It's your coverage. You should never be confused.
You hear that? An insurance provider with a conscience.
We're a choir, but yes, we have that too.
Straightforward coverage you can literally understand. That's what you get when
you have Farmers. Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum.
Learn more at farmers.com. Underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or Affiliate. Products not available in every state.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. America's favorite car show returns to Puyallup. Cruise on out for the Good Guys 38th Griot's Garage Pacific Northwest National. 3 huge days with over 3,000 classics from across the country. Check out the indoor car show and special areas. Vendor Midway Automotive Swap Meet, live music, Saturday night twilight cruising, and more. All this weekend at the Washington State Fair Event Center. Details at good-guys.com.
Are you an adult with uncontrolled moderate to severe Crohn's disease symptoms and still packing a backup bag of clothes? Just in case? Skyrizi Risankizumab Riza can help you take control of your Crohn's. Feel significant symptom relief, including less abdominal pain and fewer bowel movements at 4 weeks. Plus, Skyrizi is proven to help people achieve remission and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Individual results may vary. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's. Ready to take control of your Crohn's? Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's disease.
Control is everything to me.
Learn more at skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI.
Mariners and Reds tonight at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40, 5:30 pregame. Get every pitch of every game for free on the Seattle Sports app.
This summer, there are 250 reasons to join T-Mobile.
Girls trip? Booked. And switching to T-Mobile helped make it happen.
With Experience Beyond, switch and get $100 back. Plus, $650 in value in built-in plan benefits. That's $750 in your first year, guaranteed.
And honestly, that $100 back, I'm putting it towards the zip line.
Now that's how you do summer.
Exactly. Best switch I ever made.
This is just one reason to join T-Mobile this summer. There are 250 reasons. Find yours.
Savings based on the value of benefits included with Experience Beyond, like entertainment and 1 year of AAA Classic and Dash Pass on us. Benefits may require activation. See plan for details. Get $100 via virtual prepaid MasterCard with eligible port and no cash access and expires in 6 months. Issued by Sunrise Banks and a member FDIC. Allow 8 weeks.
Progressive presents the Museum of You.
We begin our tour with a unique piece, a relic from the early big screen television era. Remarkable. Next, we find a juicer, which historians believe has only ever been used once. And finally, compact discs from the emo era. A rare find indeed.
Some things should be history, but until then, you could protect what's important to you and save by bundling your auto insurance with a renter's policy from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
When you see this in your kitchen,
the stainless steel fridge is covered in fingerprints.
you hear this.
Leslie, people are going to think you were raised in a barn or by wolves, or raised in a barn by wolves.
Fortunately, Wyman Stainless Steel 3-in-1 cleans, shines, and protects to give you the best shine. A spray and a wipe will have your fridge shining like a mirror.
Wow, my fridge looks brand new. Your fridge looks amazing, Leslie. Sorry, I was being a little dramatic earlier.
Your kitchen says a lot about you.